Hey,
We're
Tom.
in there.
Hey, Tom.
Hey, cool. Check it out. I can check out my
Oh, wow. Look at this
Weather.
stupid thing.
How do you know for sure? How do you really know for sure?
Lightweight in between everything. Hello.
We're back.
We are in there. I do believe.
In the pocket.
I do believe. I can't find this nowhere. Where it at? Oh, here it is.
Welcome
Listen to the owl back there shredding on that Jackson.
Oh, yeah, big time.
That Jackson's bad to the
where
bone.
we talk shit about.
That's
What's
Shit.
going on here?
a Day-Lo special right there.
I don't know. There's always something new at the Outhouse podcast.
Dude, no. There it is. But our camera. Yeah, okay. Something was really weird going on there. Really, really was.
Welcome, everybody, back to the big show.
What's happening? Whoa! There's the owl.
Podcast.
What's up, everybody? We really in there for real this time?
I think we're finally back.
What's up, everybody? Look at that. The questions, views, and opinions expressed by individuals in the following program do not necessarily reflect those of the Outhouse podcast, its affiliates, its guests, or even us.
For its listeners,
These are the
anybody.
questions.
We don't want to offend
That
anybody.
one did go. I'll try to do it left-handed. I'm going to have to do it right-handed next
You
time.
need to just try that
Here,
again.
let me see that.
You did so
Yeah,
good
let me try
earlier.
again.
These 15
There he
10
is.
questions.
Welcome to the big
10.
time. And we want to
And
welcome
remember, Gattuso's Music, 1300 Market Avenue Northwest, and the Sparta Lounge, 1101 12th Street Northwest, and Plant Art, 1524 Fulton Avenue.
Fulton Cottage.
Sponsors of the show.
Stop and see Dolores, the mighty oracle.
That's what the old. Oh, we over here doubling out because I got my volume up. My bad.
Oh,
Good
man.
look there, Z.
It's like those people that call it on the radio station and they
Oh,
shut
yeah.
the radio down. Like, come on. Come on. You don't
So I
have
can
to-
see the chat from here.
And here we are again. And we
So you
have.
can see it right
Oh,
there.
yeah.
All right.
I don't have. That's why is that welcome shit
button.
on there? Whatever that is, that's new.
Lots of new.
Lots of new.
Welcome to live chat. Remember your guard, privacy, and whatever that is, your community guidelines.
And we want to welcome to the show Mr. Zach Finn.
Thank you.
local
This guy.
artiste.
Satchelberry Finn.
Satchelberry Finn. That's a new one. I will love that one.
And we got Automotive.
Where? Oh, wait, that's me.
Just jumping right into it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a little technical difficulties, and of course, Ed had to poop. So
Listen, man,
We're a few
why
minutes
is it
late.
always Ed has to
that's what our people want to know. Why every
Why?
week do you wait till we got to go on and take a shit?
I
Gonna
don't know
hold back
where
that
this comes
information.
from, you know. It's
Every week.
it's fiction.
There's got to be a sponsor opportunity.
It's not
somewhere,
real.
right?
Oh, big time.
Not real.
Charmin Ultra.
It's
Right.
not real.
We don't need any footage.
Well, we met Zach this weekend at the big art show,
At our
the
big-
opening for Lemon Crystal.
Mobile
Yeah.
catastrophe.
Really big
Well,
show.
it was a learning experience. We got everything set up, and it was about 120 degrees, and we all went crazy from the heat and tore it all down because
Yeah.
all we had was video and not real audio. The audio, we just couldn't get it. We're getting it. We have new boards and new things, and it's a learning curve, so we'll get it. We will get it. But I got to see your artwork at the Painting
There
with
we go.
Angels,
Sounds a little better now.
Yeah.
and it was really, really, really good, man. Really
Thank
touching.
you. Thank you.
I ended up having a really good conversation out front.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's a
But
little
I think for the most part, I was talking to you out front.
Yeah, we were going both ways. It was good.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really good.
I don't need to know about your personal life, Ed, that you guys were going both ways up front. and everything.
Here we go.
Sup, Gary?
That's what
Always
I-
got to get that.
Yes,
You
we
did,
can see
you
your
did
comments.
say that.
Erotica.
That's what- I mean, you said, keep driving.
Keep driving.
This coffee tastes damn good.
It is the night, man.
What did you guys have? Is it folders?
Yeah,
Love
it's
it.
that black silk.
Oh, yeah.
Black
damn good.
I was expecting some
Shout
regular
out.
old Taster's Choice.
Shout out.
Man, we done went through that bag of
Gourmet.
coffee you bought. That fucking
Might be a sponsored stream the whole way through.
Arm and Hammer.
Oh, man.
Brought to you
Damn,
by
I done said it.
Folgers Black.
I'm gonna have to
said
go
it.
get my. I don't even have no quarters on me. I'm gonna have to get some. I'm down one already.
That's all right. There's a knife right here. We can just take off the end of yours.
Otto brought some
Ooh, and I'm when my voice extra silky. I
lumberjack
tripped the
coffee stuff.
Black Rifle.
Yeah,
I know
I knew it was something.
Gunpowder?
Yeah,
No, well,
yeah,
yeah. Well,
that's what it
that's
was.
what
It was
you
pretty
need for your
good, though.
coffee cup.
That's
yes.
true, yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty
Really
good.
put a
though.
bang to it.
Yes. Yeah, we're banging on.
Twas.
We're banging a drum.
banging away at it.
Banging
away at
away,
it.
Yeah, no doubt.
Well, we started out talking about art when we were up there, and then we talked about the FUBU and how everything was just so messed up, and it'd be fun when we go back and get it right. And everybody was
Yeah, we
real
gotta-
receptive to what we were doing, though, and I really dig that about the art community right now. Everybody's kind of jumping on board with the idea of what we're doing, man.
My question is, was any of the cool art that was in there yours?
Mine?
Yeah.
As far as Eddie let me know, I was the coolest one there.
Yeah,
I was like,
I loved his piece, man, in the middle of the right side. Very,
Yeah.
very colorful. As soon as I walked up, Crystal came over and was like, "You like this one?" And I was like, "Yeah, paging Dr. Freud."
Was
Yeah.
it like bright blue or something like that? I remember seeing something.
it was absolutely every color I could pull from the crayon box. That's what I use for the most part for my work is crayons, Crayola crayons specifically.
There you
not
go,
to
shout out.
Not to be so sponsored.
Send this man a case.
Yeah.
Well,
cases.
the other ones just don't hold up.
No, not even close.
Garbage, so.
Not even close. No, I do have a few friends that like always are like, hey, these were extremely cheap at a place. I wondered if you wanted them, and it's like always a different. It's always a lesser brand than Crayola, but it's like when they do get me, I've had a lot of people also like offer, hey, I'm gonna give if you want to use them, we'll give you like our childhood crayons because no one uses them anymore. It's like
right.
that's why is
Those
the
are the best.
the medium's free. Like
That's right.
it's like
Yeah.
it's tough for. I have a lot of friends that, like my heart goes out for them because they're struggling with these mediums that are like hiking up in price.
Well, and I do oils on canvas.
Yeah.
and tubes of oil now are absolutely insane.
There's coffee in there.
I mean, insane
Get some
right
of the
now.
It breaks out.
yeah.
If you want to get into that, and watercolors are kind of the way to go because they're a little bit cheaper.
Right.
Whenever you're first starting out, I think.
Yeah.
Because oils is like a real recipe to using them. They dry at different rates.
Right.
So when you get the old box of crayons, is it like a toolkit that's always missing the 10 millimeter?
Oh, that's a good question. So, I mean, I always end up just like using the ones that I buy. Like none of the ones are missing that I use from. And it's always like more recently I've been using these boxes that are like it's called Bold and Bright construction paper crayons. It sticks well to each other very well. Because normally before I had to have like certain crayons laid out of like these ones stick on top of others better than others. Like it's definitely not a media that's like you just use each one and it works on top of each other. Like,
And I'm going to just cut in here because
Yeah.
I don't want people to think you're just like a coloring book artist. So,
no.
where'd you go to college at?
I went to High University. Like that's the quickest one I
Look
have.
at y'all.
Yeah, that's a quick one I have on hand. That turned up great. The camera.
That he actually took he drew that. That was a sketch of Ed in the bathroom. That's the
Taking a big dump, power shit.
so much
Right,
so
right
that his
before we
eyes
started.
just.
You guys are killing me with this thing, man. Killing me.
But as for. That's where the best ideas come from.
I personally thought somebody was giving birth when I came in, but then I smelled otherwise.
Oh yeah. But where I went to school was Ohio University. I went to Ohio University.
Does anybody go to school at Ohio University?
That's a very good question. Like
That's
I
like
went
a party school, right?
oh no, yeah, but I was the only one that didn't like. I don't drink, so,
Right, so
I went to that school. And I'm like, I think
Look at you.
Triple
I know.
majored in hallucinogenics, LSD.
The running joke I always have would be, there's more of a percentage of people graduating in alcoholism than it is in their fields
Right.
at
Yeah,
that school.
You know that's right.
Oh
You
yeah,
know it.
but I come from a family where two people before me went to Ohio University as well. My father and my older
You're a
sister.
legacy.
Yeah, but none of us really drank there. Well, who's ever to say? But they tell me. at the very least that they did.
That's where I saw you before. I toured that university, and you guys were on the wall of boredom. Your family tree
Probably,
right there.
you
So
know.
they were like,
big.
Yeah.
if you come here, don't be like Zachariah and his family.
Well, that's the
Sorry, brother.
thing. That's the thing is that the gauge the people have to be on that wall was just the fact that we did not drink.
Yeah.
I did I went. Also, parties like I went to I think 5 across my entire career at Ohio University. But at the very end, I found a house that a friend led me to that was like the comedy community on campus, and I'm like, this is a really strange house party. Like they had chairs set up next to what was it? It was the top one of the hills. I think it was probably Mill Street. Which is there's a name for Mill Fest and stuff, and they were sitting in chairs, and it felt like they were heckling people going up and down the hill that had way too much. Like you're either falling down it, or tripping up it, and then the trip up leads to the rolling down. Like I mean, Ohio University is all hills though, so it's
Did you
absolutely all
go
hills.
there to be an artist? Were you there for art?
I went for graphic design, and I made that decision final year of high school, really close to finishing high school. I'm like, I don't know what graphic design is, but I really like computers and I really like art. And I assume I just get both of those out of this thing. So I went for graphic design.
Was it everything you expected?
Not exactly, but what I found I very much enjoyed. I wouldn't bet money on saying I liked it more or less, but it was definitely, it felt like something that was fun enough and potential enough for finding a career in that I'm like, there's no way I could go out of this. I need to stick with this.
Now, do you have other, like in your wheelhouse, now do you have other pieces that are more of that flair, the graphic design stuff that you picked up down there?
One of the other type of art that I produce, I will use Adobe Illustrator for a lot. Like vector programs, the generalized name for it.
What's your vector, Victor?
Vector.
Vector, yeah. But I use that.
Somebody's throwing some love out there in that chat. Them hearts was getting it.
Oh, hello. But I use that. I use InDesign and Photoshop sometimes
Now,
for
do
work.
you catch any heat for that, for using the computer as your medium?
Surprisingly, no. I know a lot of people who use drawing programs for their art, but people are like, well, you could at least in my head, the people are saying you could just print it.
Right.
But that's why I was sort of like, I want to find a more physical medium to work with. And crayon in college was a nostalgia trip. Like, that was it.
Right.
At the same time, I made an imaginary friend again as well. I'm like, I'm going to try both of these and see if it sticks. Crayon definitely stuck to the paper. I can tell you that for sure. The imaginary friend stuck so much that when I saw
It's not so imaginary anymore.
Exactly. No, when I saw Inside Out, there was like spoilers. In the first one, the imaginary friend dies, so I had like a panic attack in the theater. And so I got this stick figure of the quick representation of him as a tattoo. Ingram is what I call him.
Just a touch. There you
Yeah, Ingram is what I call him, but I have better pictures on my phone of what. I generalize him to look like.
That's a tough spot to get work
It-
done, man,
yes.
you know, I got
Yeah.
branded right there, and that's no kind of fun right there.
And people told me that after the fact. I didn't ask before it, and I'm like, I could probably get a couple more tattoos now that I know that that's a little bit of a tougher
right.
space
You just
for it.
buy that
That's
stuff
right.
that you put on and you can't feel it. At least that's what it says in the commercial.
There's
I never mess with that shit.
I know I think I met one or two tattoo artists that say they use that like skin numbing cream. It's like,
Yeah.
if that's the worst, then I think I'm fine. If I go to get something more, for sure. Yeah.
Now, down in what city is Ohio University in?
Athens, Ohio.
Athens. Ohio.
Yeah.
Party down.
It is quite. I bet that downtown would not exist without the school, and the school existed before the state, which is crazy to me.
Wow, that is
Yeah.
pretty wild.
Yeah, I think what is the? I can't remember the name of it. The town that starts with an M nearby. That has been much older than the
Maslin?
school.
No.
Minerva, Malvern.
Maybe it was-
Down by there.
Mogador,
It-
Mansfield.
Maybe it was Minerva. That sounds more
nearby
familiar. I might
where?
be incorrect.
Nearby Athens, or
We would drive through it on the way to Athens, and it was closer.
Marietta.
Marietta.
That's not nearby.
Well,
We would go through it.
It is relativity.
We would go through
it's
it.
closer than Hawaii.
Maybe when I would go, when I would go back to school,
We're on the north
my
coast.
parents
it's
would
on
be
the
driving,
south
and I
coast.
fall
It's all
asleep.
nearby.
Yeah.
We were just talking about that maybe back to school. Remember that? Rodney
Yeah.
Dangerfield, maybe.
The triple Lindy.
The
But,
triple Lindy. Yes.
I have a
You're a melon.
I have a couple
the
friends
comedian
from
that-
school that we try to go and visit like each year around October. So it's coming up again. Truth be told,
Oktoberfest.
We try to avoid the Halloween era because that is when like they take up all of Court Street for that party. Like it's a town thing.
And remarkably, they take up all of court after the party.
After the party's over. That's right.
One of our teachers said that told us you have to make a group before you walk around because the phone towers get so backed up because the population triples overnight when the Halloween's happening because people from out of school, like from other neighboring universities, come to our university for that.
They
Well,
disguise
where
themselves
county
as,
come from?
As an
bobcats,
OU, yeah, as
right?
literal bobcats, as Rufus himself.
So speaking of bobcats, are there any legends around Athens? You know, like I live in Minerva, so we have Minerva Monster.
Oh yeah, well, it's the most stories that students would talk about on campus is hauntings, especially since we had the Kennedy up on the ridges.
What's that?
So it used to be at an insane asylum,
Ooh.
and it was made an art gallery.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh man. So
Yeah.
were you up there?
I went a couple times to look at the gallery. Yeah, they had to tear down. Unfortunately, they had to tear down the tuberculosis ward section because everybody was breaking into it.
Oh. Wow.
Everybody wanted to go see it abandoned because, honestly, all the photos I've ever seen, there was a guy that came through that showed his photography work, and it's
Right.
all abandoned insane asylums because they were gorgeous buildings.
Yes.
They believed that if they made the building beautiful, it was going to help with the healing process, essentially. So it was just.
They were also
Interesting.
monstrosities that they could
There's
pack
actually
people in.
some conspiracies about
Oh.
why they built such ornate buildings in
Uh-huh.
those times.
That is
I hear tell on that too.
that is actually one that has slipped my attention. I did not know that.
Let him know.
Yeah,
You
I
know.
want
Go ahead.
Well, so look at how people lived during the time when those were built. Those
Oh.
were immensely extravagant and
Yes.
ornate and
Sup,
palaces,
Black Rain.
right? And now most
Black
of them,
Rain.
there's no evidence of them. Like they've torn them down since then.
Oh yeah.
They built them up, never really filled them to capacity, and then tore them all down.
Yeah.
So, something doesn't add up there. So
Thankfully, whoever's idea was to make an art gallery of the one at OU would show how beautiful they were, because they wouldn't have dressed up that building if not.
I'm going
Like,
to call banana oil too on some of that because, I worked with the developmentally disabled and I had to do my history on that. And the turn of the last century, what they did to people that were different when the family couldn't take care of them was
seriously.
just horrific.
Oh yeah,
And
they
I'm gonna tell
lobotomized
you,
them and all
those
kinds of
places,
wild shit.
those bodies were stacked to the ceiling.
yeah, and so many of those conditions are barely even a thing.
well, and that
Well, you
feeds
got to
into
think about it.
further-
Anybody that went against the grain,
Any-
or anything that like,
Big time.
I saw a ghost, or I saw an alien, or I saw a spaceship. Back then, they was locking your ass up in the room.
One case and
Think
it's all
about
fixed.
all the people that's been locked up for saying shit, and now the government comes out and goes, "Oh well, they're real." But
Oh, by the way,
what
we've been
about all those
investigating.
people that was telling you this 50 years ago that was
Big
got
time.
locked up? You know
Big
what I mean?
time.
Oh, you're crazy, blah blah blah. Now, how crazy are all those people that was? I mean, I'm sure some of them legitimately was crazy, but how many of those people was actually locked up and wasn't?
The amount of
because they
people-
got my kid that way, man. He got in the system. Long story short, and they hauled him off to this place up in Youngstown. And I had no idea where he was, how to get him, or anything. And horrible shit happened to him in there. Let's just say that. And it's crazy. Once the state gets a hold of you, boy,
That's right.
you better, I'm telling you what, y'all think about doing dumb shit like suicidal shit and all that. All I'm saying is fix your problems because you don't want the state to get a hold of you.
No.
You do not want
Call
them to help
them,
you. Go somewhere else and get help. Go to your
Get help.
friends.
Call them
Call
numbers.
somebody, but just don't get into the system, man.
No.
They will. That's all bad. Trust
Well,
me.
I think my favorite crazy person ever was Eddie. I mean, not that Eddie.
No, I know.
The guy with the appliance store. His
yeah.
prices were insane.
Yeah,
Crazy
yeah.
Eddie.
Crazy Eddie. We're all
He
famous
was.
there.
He was a madman.
I've fashioned
Prices was going right out the window.
yes. Well, instead of going to the insane asylum,
So much
he was
shattered
like, you know what?
glass.
I have this talent of being crazy. So
Crazy
I'm just gonna
Eddie.
buy cheap,
Crazy.
you know,
You're not gonna believe the
audio
prices
and
we
video
got.
equipment, right?
I must be out of my mind.
And it worked out. So I mean, you know, a happy story for that guy.
$99? Are you out of your mind? They're $59.99.
Oh man.
Our warehouse is full.
That guy was great. Most
We've got
commercials-
5 locations.
Most
right.
commercials annoyed me over the years.
Sunday.
Sunday.
Oh yeah, I've done advertising campaigns where I kind of mix the both of those with the Crazy Eddie and the
Yeah.
Be There. They're always effective. People are always
Yep.
like, oh, what's going on next?
Yeah,
You know?
people, and then people replicate them because everybody
Done
loves those kind
scared
of
him
ads,
into
yeah.
buying a ticket. All right, man, I'm coming, man. Don't yell at me.
The 6-foot tall man eating chicken, and then you go at
Yeah,
the
yeah.
6-foot tall
My-
guy eating a bucket of chicken.
My favorite part of those ads is you'll pay for the whole seat and all you'll use is the edge. Like,
Yes.
Best part of those.
great.
Yeah.
Well, we're kind of back at the beginning still. So
Yeah.
How did the art stuff start for you? Let's just
I-
get that out of the way. How did
I-
you get into art? And how old were you when you first started creating your
Yeah.
masterpieces?
So I started earliest I probably did earlier, but the earliest I started drawing was like middle school. But it was always like replicating my favorite thing at the time: Pokemon, Dragon Ball Z. Like
How old are you?
I am 32.
Oh my God,
Yeah, I know.
he's a baby.
So
I heard that's
Yeah, yeah.
actually what they called you as a kid was Dragging Balls Z.
Black
So, I
Rain.
mean,
Black Rain says
That it.
therapy
That is the
versus the
easiest title to do
rapist.
that.
Dragging Balls Z.
But
He didn't say the rapist. He said
Oh.
therapist. But if you
I
look
see
at
exactly
it,
what
it says
you
the
mean.
rapist.
Therapist.
that's Arrested Development
Yes,
joke.
an alrapist.
Yeah, you know it. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my goodness,
Funk,
that's one of
what
the
was that guy's name?
That's what they do to your
Tobias Funke.
pocketbook, the
Yeah.
rapist.
But so I went. Was drawing middle school, went on through high school, but I didn't take an art class in high school until senior year.
Did I say that word
Yeah, I
on
did.
YouTube?
Uh-oh.
Therapist. The
Oh,
other
therapist.
word.
Yeah. Yeah. It took me a minute to like. I was drawing my own stuff through high school. Like high school was when I was creating my own characters and stuff. I also like writing as much as I can, so I'll do that. But the major thing was drawing was all the way through high school, and I was thankful that the teachers that I at least had. I don't know about all the teachers at the time that I went, but every time I was drawing in class, the teacher wasn't like, "Stop drawing. You're supposed to be listening." They would always be like, "I like what you're drawing. What is that?" They were very supportive. But
You'd be like, it's a picture of you, Miss
Yeah.
Crabtree. Like, oh.
but a lot of
Miss
the
Crabtree.
one of the teachers actually,
Young man,
I
give
think
me that knife.
I think one of the teachers said they understood that if my hand was doing like drawing, I could listen better because I was able to repeat stuff back to it when I did.
That actually
Yeah.
worked? Wow.
It did, yeah. I feel like a lot of people have that. There's a couple people that's like they need one side of their brain doing something. Like when some people say they have easier time talking when they're walking. Like they're focused on one thing and letting just the words flow out, essentially. Maybe they might say something wrong. No.
School.
School.
So
Yeah,
what was
Dover
it?
High School.
Did you say Bendover High School? Is that what you said?
Dover.
Bend over.
Dover.
Well, I heard the Dover part. Then
Yeah.
you said
I went to school with Ben.
Well,
Bendover.
Well,
High School.
you'll get a kick out of this. Dover, in its earlier years, the football team was called the Rough Riders.
Oh,
the
man, come
Bendover
on.
Rough Riders.
Yeah.
He's
Well,
just setting them up for you,
I mean,
Otto.
Thank
it was because it was Roosevelt High School at the time, and then once they changed over to the town's name, they had to have a different name. And it was like we have more tornadoes, I guess. In Dover. Like, why are we called tornadoes? It's cool. Sure. Okay.
I think the administrator's son came up with that. Call it the tornadoes, Daddy.
Oh yeah.
under the desk. As if
Like
under
that
the
worked.
desk was ever
Yeah.
going to save you.
Like that ever worked.
put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye.
At that time, the power of the collective imaginations of the kids who
guess.
believed that it worked did
Made
help
it work.
them. Yeah, exactly.
I was the kid going, this isn't going to
This some old bullshit right
realist.
here.
I told my
Surely.
teacher multiple years, and they all knew it because by like 5th grade, they're saying, yeah, we know. And I always said, look, if there's a tornado coming or something and it's coming from that way, I'm going that way. See you bye. I'm not sitting here and waiting for it to hit me.
The cruel
I
irony.
am out.
Yeah, the cruel irony is that I think my mind remembers the later I got in high school, the more it was less any storm drill, and it was more like intruder drill.
Oh,
The most unfortunate thing to realize.
That's crazy. I didn't have to worry about that shit.
Yeah.
You know,
Our
right?
intruder was
Well-
a dude out in the van talking about, man, got this
I
candy
always
bar.
told my kids, if that happened, just find a fat kid.
Oh, Uncle
I mean, seriously.
Sure,
you know,
I
I mean,
guess.
protect yourself. You gotta
Uncle
do what you
Bad
gotta
Touch.
do.
Yeah.
Sorry, fat kids.
Oh my goodness.
That was like when I was going to do the running of the bulls in Spain, and a bunch of guys backed out. But they were all slower than me. So
Yeah.
I didn't have to be faster than the bulls, but I was faster than them motherfuckers. So, I said foe, by the way, as that counts.
But I think now that I remember it, I think graphic design kind of came across because it's like I wanted to do art, but it was probably the only art career I could think of at the time that was like this might have an 8 to 5 pay
right.
wage.
Right. Starving artist is not an appealing profession.
No, and even when my professors were like, "You could do it as freelancing," I'm like, I don't know any. I wish our graphic design classes they purposely put in some business classes in it. Yeah, they always were
I
like,
heard,
we recommend to also touch on business classes, but we didn't teach it.
Right.
Tom did a lot of freelancing back in his senior year in high school days, didn't you, Tom?
did what?
A lot of freelancing.
Freelancing.
Yeah.
Well, he
you
said
know.
he was freelancing.
Let's
What you-
play Tummy Sticks.
You were lancing for free.
I did. I don't know if I've ever heard of that context. That's funny.
Yeah, he doesn't talk about it much, but he was a male dancer back in the day. Tom was.
Well,
Oh, I
you
thought
know
you was
what?
talking about that sword lancing
should
sons
know,
of
right?
bitches.
You know,
Yeah.
He didn't
Tom's
have fencing.
Chippendale days.
Yeah, he was sirloin, if I recall.
Oh, that's a good one.
Sirloin.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
How them stocks doing?
Someone probably uses that in a drag show name or something.
Right?
That sounds like a good one. That's pretty funny.
So this is a music show. We talk a lot about music. And
Yes.
we talked about music out there as well. And you know, that's another thing. You know, we paint the music. I do. And I know you were talking a little bit. So what's your musical roots, man?
So I think the earliest I could really place it is that Dad would have the Beatles in the car. He would have
Nice.
Jackson 5. A bit of Michael Jackson separately, and then I brought up Wings. We would listen to Wings
Right.
in the car as well. We had a lot from our parents, and in fact, when my older sister started suggesting bands that she really liked while we were growing up, my parents took us to pretty much every band she suggested because they loved them as much as she did. So like
You got to see a lot of shows.
we got to see a lot of shows.
nice.
New Pornographers, which is actually a band name, and they're pretty good. I love them. And we saw separate members in that band, like Nico Case and AC Newman are their own gigs as well.
like solo projects.
I would love to see Dan, I think is it Bejar or something? It's like Bejar, and yeah, he's fantastic too. Destroyer is what his separate project is. But we saw them. We saw Decemberists a couple times. Rufus Wainwright so many times. My parents love him.
Oh.
Yeah.
I've got a question about the art. When was the first time you actually realized I can do this? Like, I am artistic.
Just scribbling.
Never
I think-
again shall you use foam
I th-
on set.
I think it was that.
I can hear you, like,
Oh.
playing this day. You're just
I
like,
know I went like this.
yeah, right. You're
my
like, you're
throat.
like, hey, you know what?
It probably picked up from the neck more,
Yeah,
the
so-
vibrations.
How
I'm
about
just messing
getting
with you,
paid?
sort of,
When was
kind
the
of.
first time you got
I said
paid
don't
for
use
that kind of
foam on
Oh,
set no
wow.
more. But you did ask me, but I was thinking, but we don't want to look cheap with foam
Oh, yeah.
cups here.
Well, that's from back in the green room.
Mine's,
So.
mine's broke
Yeah.
anyway. My coffee cup broke.
I know. We got to
Maybe
get you another
so-
one.
Hey,
I don't.
we're trying
Anybody-
to talk about his art over here.
Sorry,
We're talking
man.
About his styrofoam
God.
cup. Like, my God. Actually, you could probably take that styrofoam cup and make art
It just
on it
bugs me,
right
man.
now, so.
We
Wait.
could make a master shake out of it.
Ah.
I love master
Well,
I
shake.
Here,
do.
like-
There's a reference. I love Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Yeah.
Oh my God, man.
I have a friend at the hub that raves about it. I think I told you a little bit about McDowell, David McDowell.
Yes.
Yeah, he's a powerhouse of a voice, but he loves Aqua Teen Hunger Force.
Yeah, that was a big one for me back in the early 2000s. Man.
Oh, yeah.
I watched a few of those.
I love the neighbor Carl, man.
The
I just die laughing.
little oddball tangent. When I was at OU, when I was at Ohio University, there was a like an object on one of the greens being set up, and we're like, is it a stage or something? But then next day, there was a blown up castle around it, and it was Adult Swim's like Funhouse tour.
Oh,
it was
wow.
insane. Like you got to go through it,
awesome.
and once you went through one curtain of one room, I'm like, I know what. This is like a living room. I know what this is. And I turn around, and it's Master Shake's door. It's shaped just
great.
like, I'm like, whoa. But I don't know if I had any art that I sold before I started doing it like in Canton. In fact, I'll plug this because I'll forget otherwise. Patina, the gallery that I operate out of downtown Canton, which is fantastic
It's a great
studio. I
gallery.
recommend going
There's
there.
a lot going on downtown.
Yes, yeah, and I'm so happy. They're trying to get more about the arts, and it's tough when
So
it's
wait a
like
minute,
a
wait a
football
minute.
dominated town.
You're operating Patina?
No, I'm operating out of.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, wrong words. No, which helps me though, because who is Alaska, and she's a fantastic person. She, the reason why I got back into presenting my art as something that I do is because of her, because she reached out, I think, shortly after the big fear with COVID. And
Big
she's
Fear,
big
Jared
fear.
Banta.
Yeah. Now there's a fear. It's
No,
just
that
a
was a
little,
band. That was
just a
a
little
band,
fear.
yeah.
Like people are still afraid of it, but just after she's like, "Hey, do you want to hang up artwork in the upstairs half level, like the alleyway per se, of the gallery that I'm curating at now?" I'm like, yeah, I need to do something to get myself back in public, because the only people I'm talking to are a group of people who are fantastic on Discord, who are like across the United States, and then some dudes in the Philippines that are really cool too. But like, it's tough. It was tough because it's like I don't know anybody locally anymore.
Right.
One of those things of what that did. So I got my in the hallway there, and then it was in the one off room, and then later now I pay for a studio space in that building, and I have my studio there where I work out of.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
It's been a really cool studio space for a number of years now.
Upstairs or downstairs?
Upstairs, which I always try to direct people. There's more upstairs.
Right.
It's a tough signage to try to get everybody to know.
Works out better than trying to convince them to go to the basement.
Oh, well, that's the fight.
Come on down.
That's the funny thing, because comedy happens in the basement.
That's right.
Yeah, we have comedy.
It's a great location.
Great location.
And
It's
I
all
remember when
fun
it
and
was
games till
Where
you
is
get
it
to the
downtown
basement.
in relativity to the Palace Theater?
So I always tell people it's right across from Culture Club, but then it takes them a second. I'm like, it's right across from where Buzzbin used to be. So like,
Right.
hey, it's right there. It's in between the computer
I
store.
was just getting ready to say it, the
Yeah.
computer store right there?
Yeah.
Yep.
I normally say like Milestone, but computer store I keep forgetting is right in between them. So the computer store and Modern Ritual, I think. Yeah, the jewelry store.
Shout out.
Was
yeah.
that Market or Cleveland Avenue? Where it was?
That's Cleveland.
Clayton.
Cleveland.
Get up
right,
on Clayton.
Right on
Yeah,
the
no.
right on the road with the statues of the football players and the founder. I never really found
I
out
don't know who that
dude is. He's like
I
just
don't
got a
keep up
fedora.
with the
to say-
football.
You know,
Me neither.
You know that whole area, that kind of commons that they put right there where there's big screen TVs and stuff?
Yeah, the Centennial Park.
Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that what that's called?
Yeah.
Over there
My
ringing the
homeless
cock.
friends love that place.
I'm sure.
Absolutely love it.
Very
yeah.
comfortable spot.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
I remember.
Thanks, Canton City, for housing all my buddies down there. Appreciate
I
it.
remember one late night I was hanging
Over
out
there
with friends
cock
there.
ringing.
Huh?
Oh,
I
yeah.
said you're over there cock ringing.
Oh gosh, I'm knocking it down.
But that spot is
Playing
been,
with pussy.
Knocking this pussy down.
that spot has
all
been a
over
great
town.
venue for so many events downtown.
Hey, do you got one of those Chesterfields I brought in? Chesterfield cigarettes?
Mm-mm.
Damn. Bummer. Sorry I interrupted.
Oh, no, you're good.
I mean,
You're good.
yeah.
Do you? Where are they at? Are they back there somewhere? You guys ever had a Chesterfield cigarette? They're old school.
Oh,
There you go.
old school.
Just like that, yeah. I love Chesterfields. They're great.
So, what do you think as far as now post the horrible word that you mentioned earlier.
Yes.
Post that.
Post
where
that.
Do you think the art world is right now? Is it gearing up?
It's a tough call.
They had a great showing this
Yeah,
weekend.
at Patina we always got another show every first Friday where it starts. I will soon be starting a piece for that. I think the title of it is Wings of Whimsy. It's in
Wings of
Whimsy.
Whimsy. Okay,
Yeah,
like
it's
Whimsy.
in
I thought you said Lindsay at first. I thought maybe it was like an angel or something. You know.
maybe.
You know?
It wouldn't be alien for me to do another angel piece in relation, but it's with the botanical gardens. That is the major kicker of why we're doing the show, and so everybody's doing like butterfly piece in relation to a butterfly piece. Should be great. I always try to. One of the things I help out at Patina is do some design work for them. So I should have brought some tonight. Now that I think about it, but yeah. It's one of those fun events that we have. I always watch the studio Thursday nights. Helps with paying for the studio space. So it's a great place to go see. I'm normally there 4 to 8, and I love having people come through to come see the artwork. So make sure you do.
Yeah,
I really
come through.
Come
I
through.
really like Patina. I like that whole area. You know, I used to go there when it was Second April when Brennis and Todd had it.
Many names too.
And it's like you
Second
said,
April.
getting upstairs, getting people to come upstairs and check everything. It's a pain in the ass because it's such a good crowd downstairs. It's hard to pull away once everybody gets down there talking and.
When it is so
Doing
tough.
the thing.
It is. It's a little
So
tough. And it always has kind of been that way.
Yeah, but it's odd to say that it's like I don't know if you've ever been in like a situation where it's like I can't get any work at home, but if I have a space away from home, I could get work done.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So I still draw at coffee shops, but I use the studio also. So
A lot of people call that scenario kids.
oh, well, I
Yeah,
don't have any
so-
kids at
right,
home, so
I'm just saying, it's, you know,
I just have me and my thoughts.
There's lots of people out there with kids going, "Oh yeah, I completely relate.
Yeah.
I got to get the heck out of here."
I have at home. I have all the should do's in my head. It's like I should do this. I should do that. I should go and not be at home. I should go see if people are hanging out, stuff like that. So, the fact that I could go to a coffee shop and produce my art has been something I've done since college. So,
What's the most popular, successful work of art that you've had, whether written or painted or crayoned or?
wow, I didn't really get super involved with my art until I started using the crayon stuff, but I think for the most part, at least the most comments I get, I made 2 pieces of a Furby. So many people love the Furby. I also have a piece that is of Clippy from Microsoft, and it says under it, looks like you're trying to fit into society, need some help. That's been my favorite for a long time. That one's very simple. That was a hand drawing I scanned and then colored and then sell it as a print at the studio.
Now, have
that
you
one I
tried
sold a lot.
Doing comic strips at all?
I've wanted to. The mindset I need to get out of is that I always keep thinking I only can do like one take of each character, which I've proved myself wrong because I've drawn my character Ingram a dozen times.
Right.
So my mind is always like, it's not going to look the same each time. It's like, I didn't realize until later, I'm like, my art style is not really supposed to be that super recognizable each time.
I think it's a really cool style.
Thank you
It's
so
very
much.
unique, you know, and, you know, with a catchy, you know, that's the cool part about those little strips like the way Garfield was
Well, I
and
mean-
Calvin and Hobbes and those. You can get
Oh, yeah.
a lot across in just 4 panels.
And it doesn't have to be that detailed.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, and it's about the motion of it. You
Oh,
know?
big time.
And that's what makes
And
it
the
killer
emotion.
anyway, because it's not printed like that. Like, it's different every single time.
Yes.
Like, that's what makes it even better.
Unique,
Yeah.
Yeah.
original.
Yeah.
My mind actually would always go to like the funnies and the newspaper, and then I keep forgetting. I'm like, well, comics, like superhero comics are, and they're obviously in much different formats.
I
like
love
they're
that medium.
moving so much.
I love that medium right now. There's
Yeah.
a lot going on.
A lot of people do it.
They
They're
got
doing
rid
it.
of the Comics Code Authority. And when they did that, it opened the floodgates to originality. And now you've got so many. Well, I was telling you, you can buy the blank plugs
Yes.
and do your own artwork for that particular character or even another character.
And I was given I wish I could remember who got for it. It might have been a Christmas present from the folks, but I'm sure it was a gift from a friend. Someone got me a book that had like comic panels, so you could just like practice art. It's like each sketchbook page was just like, here's the strip, put something in it.
Right.
So
Now,
yeah.
Is Patina online? Like people can get online and check out.
There's a website for Patina. I'm pretty sure it's patinaartscenter.com or Patina Arts. I'm sure if you Google it, you'll find it.
And
So,
what about you personally? Do you have stuff?
for me, I have an Instagram called odd_folk. That's where my art is present at. I'm trying to be better about posting on it, but social media these days
Oh
it's just
my
like
God,
makes
I
me
know, right?
detract away from it whenever I see like one glimpse of something doom and
Okay,
gloom.
well, since we've got you here and we're talking about that, so what
Yeah.
are your feelings on Bitcoin?
Shitcoin.
I have
Apparently, people's making money on this shit, though.
It-
I
Do you
mean,
know anybody that made money
and burning
on it,
their
or you
house
just hear
down
it?
with how many computers are churning that
I
stuff
don't know.
out, burning
I
the
can't
environment
say
down.
personally.
Right. So
Yeah.
it's hearsay or propaganda.
Well, actually, I got some buddies that me and Craig was stagehands with, Sam King and his son.
Yeah.
His son started doing it and was kind of making money on it. I mean, I don't think he was making big money because he wasn't putting that
Yeah.
much into it, but he was actually.
He probably had to pay taxes the first year and said, "Screw this,"
Yeah, I
because
don't-
they're
I
taking
don't-
50% because it's capital gains, and
Huh.
you have nothing to offset it. So yeah, I've been there.
Oh, yeah.
effed
Yeah,
up.
I never looked into it at all to have an opinion. I'm sure it's whatever.
I just was joking because every time I open up my social media, my inbox is full
Really?
of messages on people trying to get me to hawk, sell, trade, buy Bitcoin. And I could have less of an interest.
yeah, big time.
What's weird is on my Facebook when I was trying to get up to 1,000, I was getting a lot of those Asian women on there friended
Right.
me, and all of them would message me and be like, "Oh, how you doing? Blah blah blah." Ask you all kinds of crazy shit, and then finally they'd get to it.
Right.
Well, how about? Are you into Bitcoin?
I wonder if
No.
I wonder if they're bots. Because I heard there's a lot of bots in there that are programmed to
Man,
talk
they
a
asked some.
certain
They
way
asked some pretty.
and to interact.
Is
a
there
certain
fail
way.
safe? Is
Man,
there
I'll
fail
tell
safe
you
to
what.
talk about Bitcoin? Like what?
I don't know.
It's like,
It-
oh, I don't
it's
got his
pretty-
attention.
There's
Bitcoin?
just various different angles that try to get you
I'm good.
to invest your money, or lose your money is what I was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I heard that I read about it anyway, what the running scam was whenever you do the conversion rates with them and you swap your cash out and you get it into their system, what ends up happening is you just play this game then of trying to get your money back ultimately. They show you all these gains, and then when you try to get your cash back, it's next to impossible. And then in the
Of
end,
course.
they absorb all your cash and say that you lost somewhere along the line and you're too ignorant of what's going on to be able to defend yourself.
Yeah.
And adios amigos.
I get a lot of those ones. I want to bless you with some money on Messenger. What's your Cash App or your Venmo?
Oh
And
my
I go,
God,
yeah,
right.
go,
Right.
go on now, get. You ain't getting my. I don't
It's
have
fun to
none,
mess with
but I
them
mean, I
sometimes,
wouldn't
though,
even.
like-
I
Oh,
wouldn't
yeah.
give them if I did.
Yeah.
Because then
Play
when you
games.
Google that, you say, well, "How can you get scammed on such app?" And they'll show you, and it's like, yeah,
Hey Tom, that's a pretty cool Iron Maiden shirt.
I know, isn't it?
That's
that's
pretty
cool.
dope.
I haven't had it out in a while.
Yeah.
I had two of them, but the other one was a smaller one. It was a large, and I think I ended up giving it to Jimmy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was basically the same one, but I was just actually.
Now that's
looking
not
at that
one-eyed Jimmy, is it? Because
That's sun-eyed Jimmy.
sun-eyed Jimmy. That's right.
Yeah.
But I was just looking in the thing, and it's because it's green. The green
yeah.
screen's doing its thing to it.
My God, the search for
Oh,
one-eyed
yeah.
Jimmy. So I'm
Can you
wondering,
put a little more busted capillaries on his nose?
are you able to tell that story you told me in the car today?
I don't know what story.
The one about the BLT.
Oh yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Because really, we're leading up to we're getting closer to the middle, and our friend is going to come back in the second half and really surprise Tom because he did his homework. And it turns out that besides being a really kick-ass artiste,
Thank
this
you.
guy's somewhat of a professional, like cryptid hunter type researcher guy.
Yeah.
Big fan.
He's
Not the truck.
He's a huge fan of that stuff. So
Who is?
this guy right here?
Oh.
That was the,
Cryptids?
that was the big
Yeah,
reason
yeah, yeah.
we're gonna do Cryptid
that's-
Crazy.
Wait,
in the
one
second
of the
half.
funny things is that the podcast I was going to recommend to you so many people think what they talk about is cryptocurrency because they're called Cryptonaut podcasts.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, it's funny.
So many people go to their channel. It's like, where's the talk about?
We were just
fake
talking
money.
about
We lost them.
marketing
Do you know who Thinker Thunker is then?
That might be new to me.
Wow.
I might need to write that down if I.
Yeah, you definitely need to write
That's
that
what this
down.
is for.
You got to go
Love
check
the
him
name.
out. He's got a book out that now he's figured out the science to prove Bigfoot. No, let's say I'll back that up.
Yeah.
He has the science to prove that whatever this forest giant is not human.
Oh yeah.
He can do measurements because here's the thing. From your elbow to your wrist, from your shoulder to your elbow, knees to the hips, all of us humans, whether we're 5 foot tall or 7 foot tall, your body ratio is still the same.
Yeah.
Right? So you can't get in a monkey suit and make these, stretched out
bends on the
arms,
way.
right? And then try to bend it. Your elbow's still going to bend in the same place,
Oh, yeah.
whether you got arm extensions or whatever. You know what I mean? Your knees will still bend in the same place.
Yeah.
Your gait will still be the same. And the way he does these measurements, he does it with the body ratio, shows you the difference between an actual gorilla and other animals and humans and several different humans. He's got a bunch of different videos on it. And he does a face thing, because if you go from the center of your eyeballs to the nose and from the top of the nose to the bridge of the mouth and all this shit, same thing with humans.
Yeah.
But these things, they're not proportionally like us. And you can't get in a mask and disproportion your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And move and all that shit.
Yeah, because
Not
when
like that.
I watched the movie Predator, there's just people that look like Predator and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm just saying you could fake anything you want to fake.
Well, yeah, you can fake it like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, like,
This is a proportion thing.
yeah,
Sure.
I mean, you can, like, even if you're in a mask, your eyeballs are, you know what I mean,
I
in
get
the
you.
same spot. Even if you're looking through, you know what I mean, in your mouth, you can look at the measurements even with a mask and go, oh, shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you can have a mask on that's out of measurement, and I guess, and have all these movements and all this shit, but are you really going to go hiking way out in the middle of the woods with this elaborate costume to shoot this shit?
Yeah.
People
I mean-
have, so I mean, yeah,
I
you
mean,
can watch
I-
videos of it. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, not like elaborate costumes. The one I've seen that they do that with
They're
are
not-
obvious that they're not Bigfoot.
I mean, don't
Yeah.
get me wrong. There's some
like that one
compelling
that's supposed
evidence,
to be
but-
down there at Salt Fork when it's snowing and dudes. That's some old bullshit right
I don't
there.
think anyone's breaking out the Slim Jim
Yeah, right.
costume or Harry and the Hendersons costume.
I love that movie.
Love that movie.
Well, Bobo said that they like bacon and jelly donuts. So I don't know why people don't just leave out bacon and
But-
jelly
That's fair.
donuts. Right?
Santa loves
But yeah, I
Christmas
mean-
cookies.
But, yeah.
The gait thing and the body proportions made me a believer. I was like, I was on the fence with it, and I was like, you know what? Could be, could not. I ain't gonna say one way or another. But when I watched that dude and he showed that shit, I'm like, wow.
I think there was a televised event that I watched where it was like we had someone that would be like the weight, like big enough as like nothing matched up still. It was like he was big enough to probably get that spot,
Wow.
but as an actor, but like
And
he would be way
supposedly-
too hard to find.
And
Like,
I've seen other things where supposedly, a lot of times they'll take them hair samples in and they'll say they're contaminated or whatever. And a lot of times, well, they finally got some and supposedly they
Sir, how did all your pubic hair get mixed in with this?
right traced it back to a mother but not a father, or the other way around or something. It's been a while.
sounds like a mix-up.
I still want to see those guys out there talking about, look up on the tree line, you can see it moving around. And then this thing just comes
I
up
think they
right in
traced it
front
back
of them.
to I forget what mother origin, and the father is unknown. Like maybe it is like a human hybrid, I think.
I don't know. Who knows?
I've heard a lot of cases about Alien.
Yeah, Alien.
And that's a
was,
new one.
I've seen where they take a like an overhead projector clear thing, and they put all the markings where
Right.
Bigfoots have been sighted, and then everywhere where UFO sightings are, and they pretty much line
Pretty much
up.
line up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've
I mean,
seen that,
I've
too.
heard that theory, and
That's like that quote-unquote hoax that was out earlier in the year where that guy was driving by that ridge and saw that giant Bigfoot up there. And then that whole thing, there was stuff flying around up there, people said, and it seems like every time now there is like UFO sightings around these Bigfoot sightings, man. Maybe there is something to that.
A bunch of cryptid sightings that I've ever like looked up. There's a bunch of the Mothman, bunch of cases with UFOs during everything that was seen in Point Pleasant, West Virginia. Like a lot of stuff was happening during the events of seeing the Mothman. Crazy.
Oh man, and I can't wait to get into that.
I'm so excited to do.
That's gonna be really awesome, man.
Well, he's like, I can't wait to get into it. And for the last 10 minutes, we've been
We're
talking.
already.
Yeah,
in it,
we're
right?
already.
When's break time?
Right.
I was gonna wear this other shirt, but I didn't have. I'd forgotten. Hold on.
Yeah, this is a good one, man. He broke this out last night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
and,
right. I remember that.
You know, we need to go to the outro to your story.
Shut up.
We can do that. I just didn't think it matched.
I love that
the
image.
subject.
It doesn't at all, but it's such a
Yeah.
good story.
Wow.
Man.
Minerva Monster.
Minerva
shirt.
Monster.
I thought we
love
did
that
this
image.
the second
Yeah.
out.
That artwork's rad. Or real photo. I mean,
I've looked people in the eye that believe that they saw a Minerva monster.
that
You know what I mean?
that's
So-
always like the most passionate like set of eyes you'll ever see. Is like, no, seriously.
Yeah.
It's like you can't say that they didn't see anything.
And during
If-
the break, I'll scan my phone, but I actually
You
have
know,
pictures of my.
Here's the thing
UFO.
about people that supposedly seen things like that.
yeah.
Here's the one thing that I've noticed about them. The people that actually have seen some real shit like that, whether it be whatever cryptid, UFO, whatever crazy shit, they don't give two shits whether you believe them or not.
That's right.
Yeah.
They can
that's
care
true.
less.
They know
Yeah.
what they
They're
saw.
not out for no money.
They're not out to convince you.
No, yeah.
You're right.
They-
They're like, here's what I saw. I don't give two fucks whether you care.
Boom for the
Yep, I got it. And they don't care. It's like, and,
Yeah.
and them people, I'm like, you know what? Yeah, that person's seen some shit.
Oh yeah.
Now, me personally, I ain't never seen no Bigfoots in the woods. I don't think I've ever heard one personally. Maybe I have because they do mimic other animals. But
I've heard of that too. Yeah.
I don't know.
I remember a girl that Ed dated back in the day that was like, I'm not sure that if she was Bigfoot, if she was a girl.
Goonie goo goo.
or
Are you
whatever.
talking about me?
gra-
No, man.
if it was
I ain't never
Ohio,
dated no big.
If it was Ohio, it might have been the
girls.
Grass Man.
It might have been.
Might have been.
It might have been.
I would have remembered something like that.
All right, I was making that up. So
Look at that.
It's all bullshit. Oh, 2 quarters now, by the way.
That's
I didn't
right.
forget.
2 quarters.
Every
I got
time,
them over here. In the
That's a
hand.
half.
whenever we drop an
Yeah,
F-bomb,
sure is.
we
Although-
put a quarter in the cuss bus and it goes
Although-
to humble creatures.
Charity.
It's
We're almost
probably
there
a
with it.
probably a joke my father would have made. It's like he told me that there was a guy in his high school, college that like would ski down the steps on his feet. I think he met Bigfoot because I don't know if anybody could ski down steps with just their feet like that.
And they used to call me shovel feet.
Yeah, you haven't saw his feet. do you?
More my thumbs are shovels. I got hammered thumbs. If anybody's ever seen those,
wow.
It's the odd. But first time I noticed that, I looked at one of my
Oh, he's
classmates'
got a
hands
thumb
and
like Larry.
yeah,
My brother's got that
Really?
same one. Exactly. I swear. I
I
swear.
love hearing about it.
I think that was a song, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Thumb-
he
Thumb
got
like
his on a
Larry.
saw.
But the
Cut that son
but the
bitch
first
off.
time I noticed my thumb was a different shape was I was in middle school. I looked at someone else's hand. I was like, man, your thumbs are weird. They're like your fingers.
You got
it's-
alien thumbs.
Yeah, what's with you? I was like, dude, you're the one that's got weird thumbs.
Hey, Steve, let me see. Oh crap.
Dang it.
I can't pick my nose the same.
I can't reach the other button on the Xbox
But the
controller.
girls so like you though, don't they?
So now we're talking about the art and stuff. So, how is your career as a Harry Potter impersonator going?
That's a very good question.
Well,
That question has been with me since elementary
Hey
school.
Finn, let me get that thumb.
Yeah.
hey, lollipop.
So, brings a new meaning to the whole
Oh, Finn.
Crusader,
Do it again.
gladiator thumb. Yeah, yeah.
Right.
That is
Weren't much of a bowler. I had a problem with
man.
Finn, give me your thumb
It took
again.
me until the horrors of the.
Now, did you have a lot of girlfriends starting in grade school?
No, surprisingly.
They're running with it, so you might as well
The,
just jump on board.
the major event that we were
I'm
talking
sorry,
about
I'm
that was a sickness no one got down with, as we were talking about. During that I was watching as many movies
with
as
the
I
thickness.
can, like maybe 3 movies an evening.
Ditto.
So I'm like, I ran out of stuff that I want to watch, so I guess I'll finally cave and watch Harry Potter. I had a vendetta against the movies because I was called that kid so much.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I went through the movies. I think I had
And it
friends.
was like, oh,
no, seriously. Seriously.
This is
No,
it.
no.
did it?
In high school, a friend texted me saying, "Hey, you're talking to yourself on this channel." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" So I changed the channel. And for some reason, people also placed me to look like, at the time, Edward Cullen. And so Cedric and Harry are talking to each other in this scene. Robert Pattinson and Daniel Radcliffe. I'm like, oh, that's the joke you mean. I was really confused going into it, but Harry, like I said, I had an absolute vendetta against the Harry Potter series.
Don't make me put you in the corner.
Oh, sorry.
What's
This
going
is
on in the classroom here?
my cheese is sliding right off the cracker,
Oh, my
man.
gosh.
It's been just,
That's what happens when you
what's
talk
up.
about Harry Potter.
I'm just losing my
No,
shit.
so I watched it finally during COVID, and it's taken me a minute for my friends to be like, no, he was meant to not know what he was doing. I'm like, that guy is supposed to be the hero, and he went through this entire thing with like no development. He just felt like he knew nothing that was happening. It's like, I don't know how to deal with this.
We should roll up somewhere with you in full Harry Potter
Oh
gear.
my God, yes.
freak.
And
Let's
then,
do it.
And then you dress to the nines, you know what I mean? Me and you will be like the bodyguards on
Right.
either
we'll have
side
him
of the-
dressed like Jafar.
Right.
That would have been the last day this boy lived. I'll say that for sure.
What's it
Man.
say up there on
Got a
time?
parrot
How
on
close
his
are we?
shoulder.
Are we at 57 minutes?
No, we're 55.
Close. I
Double
can feel
nickel.
My blind.
It all was 5, 5, 5, 3, 4, and 5, 5, 5, 5, 5.
And
Oh, nice.
so when we
Make a
come
wish.
back, we'll be jumping into the cryptid pool. We got Alexander up there. We got Z over there. Miss Mills on the board.
Flashing them cameras and whatnot.
That's right. We need to give Alex that green light and let him know it's about time for him to go off while we
I think
talk.
he's. I
here.
think he's holding back a little with the little
Yeah,
special riff.
speaking of which, that guitar, he's got a beautiful Jackson guitar. It's been set up
Yeah.
by myself. You can find that guitar there.
There it is.
You know, you can get that sucker there for about $249 right
Get
there in
out.
America
Seriously?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Gotta get two
Yeah.
so's.
You know,
It's got an awesome setup on it. It's one of them there dinkies. And it has them there Zach Wild pickups in it.
EMGs.
Yeah, the EMG Zach Wild ones.
Live ones,
son.
aren't they? Yeah,
Yep.
live
All
Yep.
right.
He more than melted off the face of the fellow in there.
Oh, I
That's
know.
right.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right. Need to let
Yeah.
that kid go off in the second half.
You know,
Whatever
he
he's
feels
dying
so alone. Gonna end up a big old pile of them bones.
That's right.
Oh, man.
Yeah, nailed it.
to. Oh, yeah.
Set it up,
But,
you knocked it down.
Anyway,
We're going to be coming right back here real quick. You got our little outro ready, Tom?
what is it?
Our outro thing that you play?
That would be. Yeah,
I know we
hold
are.
on, huh?
You always get annoyed when we don't get it, and I like hearing it too.
Yep.
If somebody
are we-
doesn't buy that guitar
are
in
we
like a
doing
week, I'm just gonna buy it. So
There you go.
you know,
Yeah, I'm running ahead.
That's
You know
for
how I
sure
do.
thing.
I held it. It's got the. It's
The
got
actions on it's unbelievable.
unbelievable.
You know, and I was
The
gonna
neck
say
is
that. You
beautiful
know,
on
some guitars doing. I just did a 303 copy Epiphone, and I did as best as I could, and it's not so good. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? You gotta do a fret leveling, but that one, boy, it went right into place, man. And it's badass.
It is. Listen to it.
We'll be showing him here in a minute. So I guess that's what we're gonna do since he took off and went to the bathroom.
I'm gonna search for my UFO pictures.
All right, let's
yeah,
go
bring 'em
ahead
up.
and hit that there halftime thing.
I need to see if I could find my photo with
We'll
Mothman.
see you guys here
tattoo.
in about 5 minutes.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We shall be having a brief intermission in our feature presentation. I'd like to remind you all there are snacks and light refreshments at the front bar, hookers and cocaine in the back room. I know where I'll be. The second half of our program will begin momentarily, a little darker, slightly more sinister. Good times for all. Thank you and good night.
Coming in hot.
Who's hot?
Coming in hot.
I'd have had a hot.
Welcome
Well,
back
that'd just
to
be
the Outhouse
bonus behind the
podcast,
scenes.
where we talk shit.
People pay
about
extra
shit.
for that, so it works out.
We have Zach Finn. sitting
Gary
in,
says extended intermission, 5 more minutes. He was jamming.
and we have
He's the best part of the show.
Otto.
Oh, you know, I was going to tell you, Gary, if you would have hurried up there, you could have been here by break a long time ago, and then we got to talking, and I forgot. Because you always say something, but you know you can come over, brother. And get that break time, you know, and talking about over there.
Where's our Dennis come up out too?
I ain't seen no John May. Me and him was going back and forth on Facebook there with that flat earth
Jinx,
shit.
you owe me something to do.
That's funny.
We're gonna get into all kinds of stuff this second hour now.
What's your thoughts on that shit?
Wait, what was that detail?
Flat earth?
Are you a flat earther,
Oh,
Zach?
my goodness.
What do you think? Is it a globe or is it a flat Earth?
They,
What's your thoughts on it, Mike?
with like all the from watching the Cryptozoology podcast and then having this like big step into hearing about all this spirituality stuff that I probably wouldn't have purported to subscribe to a long time ago, is like I feel like anything's possible at this point, but I don't know if that is like there with everything else that
Is it
I've come to.
probable?
It probable. I guess the things that get in the way of my head are like I've always been made to think it's like the sun goes around the earth, and the sun's circular, and the earth is a sphere that in which it goes around.
That's he was trying. That was the argument we was in.
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say an argument, but we was just
Yeah.
going
The
back and
debate.
forth. The debate was he was saying that the sun is local, and I had a thing that I posted where it shows back in the day, dude measured between the obelisk.
Yeah.
Where's the damn pyramids at?
Giza.
Giza.
That's the other
and
thing,
this
yeah.
other one, and then had dude march the distance and did the math,
Yeah.
and the shadows at the same time.
Yeah.
And then I was like, you know, that pretty much says it to me. And then he was like, oh, look at this video, and he showed me this video, and it was a bunch of clips of people in an airplane at sunset, where it looked like clouds were in front of and behind the sun, which to me, in my opinion, that's all about perspective.
Big time.
Because, like, you know, I've been in an airplane when the sun's at high noon. I've been in it when it was coming up in the morning. I've been at night, and I've been at dusk. And when you're in when it's rising and falling,
Yeah.
it's got that perspective, and it does look like that where they're in front of it and behind it. But when it's at high noon, explain that. That's not local.
Yeah.
Feel like
There's
you're
no
in
clouds
science
in front of
class
that
over
bad boy. It's way up there.
Well,
I'm
then-
above
Yeah.
the clouds. You know what I'm saying?
When it's
When
yeah,
it's
big time.
setting because it's going behind the curve, it gives it that perspective. It's a parallax, you dig? You
When
move
it-
around.
No.
One of the
Small
funniest
gets big. It's
Can I
big.
get a hall pass?
one of the funniest things I've seen on the internet of
Y'all
late.
don't even know what a parallax is. Go look it up. I know
Yeah,
you
it
don't
is.
out
It's,
there.
it's 2 laxes.
Parallax it.
It's a parallaxes.
All right.
Parallax.
That's right.
But
Parallax is
Gary,
looking.
yes.
I'll do it for
Shit
you.
your
This is what a
pants.
parallax is. We're all looking at this chicken from a different point of view. That's a parallax.
that
We're all
could,
looking at the same chicken, but we're all looking at it from a different point.
So someday
That
when
could
I'm
be
on,
very
when I'm on
philosophical.
Jeopardy, I'll know that.
that's a Rush lyric, man.
Oh yeah.
And Roll the Bones when he does the little rap thing.
Hell yeah.
It's a parallax. You dig, you move around. The
I know
small
those,
gets big. It's a rig. It's action, reaction, inner, something,
Those
action,
are-
something or another,
Canadian?
something or another, something or another. Forget the rest
I
of the
wrote
words.
down because I know I forget band song names all the time, but Spirit of Radio was probably the one I listened to. I'm like, this one is like top for me.
How deep have you gone into the Rush?
It was I dropped onto I dropped onto shuffling
Red Bell.
I use YouTube Music for my stuff, so I shuffled their channel while I was working, and like whenever work didn't get busy, I'm like noticing the music. I'm like, this is really good. It's like, so it hasn't been it's only been like 1 or 2 work days of yet that I've been like diving.
So what you really want to do is start at the beginning and work your way on through
Start
and go by
at
the
very
albums.
beginning.
Chronologically.
Yeah, because
place to start.
Class.
Oh,
So
we're
the
the
first-
class clowns over here apparently tonight because
I thought it was always me.
This
but-
guy.
Oh, wow.
So
I'm
the,
hanging my head in
the,
this
the
stuff.
first.
That's all.
wow. It's like when the
He thinks
principal.
he's still on. All right, get him
looks
to
in.
relax. Anyway,
my God.
so the first album doesn't have the good
Wearing an
drummer
owl
on it.
with
They
it.
had some other dude. And
Oh, okay.
It kind of sounds like Zeppelin-ish, kind of
Oh,
whatever.
okay.
Right.
I love Zeppelin.
And then when they got this badass drummer,
Zeppelin-ish. They were
it completely
from Greece.
changed.
Yeah.
And then they started making
Zeppelin-ish.
albums that like half of the album, like back then the record, the first half of the record was like 5 songs. It was one whole story.
Okay. 6.
So the second album, I believe, is Fly By Night, which has got the battle between good and evil.
How many people just went like fly by night?
Yeah, right.
When you said that.
And then
You're absolutely
there's
right.
Caress
I heard
of
that in my
Steel,
mind
which
when
is
you did it.
basically the ring thing, Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
Basically that story with other songs, and then there's Caress of Steel, which is kind of the same kind of along
Welcome
the
to
lines.
NerdCon 24.
And then there's 2112.
I'll be nerding out
which
this
is
time.
which is the futuristic. The priest rule everything. Dude
yeah.
goes in a cave, finds
Judas
a guitar,
Priest ruled, man.
starts
Fuck yeah.
making music, and goes, "Oh my God, this
Oh, yeah.
music's great."
saw
Takes
Priest
it to the
at,
priest and says, "Look what I
Richfield.
found, and check out this music." And they're like, "We know about it. It's
Remember
it's
Richfield?
dirt." Smash the guitar,
Love Richfield.
and this whole thing goes on. But you'll
Tom
get
knows
into it.
Richfield.
Yeah.
You were in Richfield before, in the Coliseum.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was a great place to see some
Well,
shows.
you said
boy.
Priest, and I said Judas Priest, and
Yeah.
I was thinking I saw them up there.
I
at,
never seen them there.
No.
Did you see Rush there?
I did see Rush there
Oh,
twice.
that would have been awesome.
That would have been
I
huge.
seen the it was the a show of hands, which was the Hold Your Fire tour. I bought tickets for the first night and won tickets for the second night. So I seen the show twice in one night. Eric Johnson opened up. It was kind of cool the first night, but the second night, because Eric Johnson's a great guitar player, but that shit was putting me to sleep, yo.
Hellbent.
But you really. Lyrically, you want to dive into Rush.
Okay.
You'll be blown away
Face
by the
first.
lyrics.
Okay.
Seriously. You're
2112.
going
I'll
to trip
sit-
your mind.
I'll sit
Isn't
down and
that a
listen to them
drug?
big time.
I mean, musically for sure, but lyrically, dude, man, after they got into that second album, it's heavy shit.
Sick. Yeah.
Oh,
And then
that's
you'll
happening
just
again.
progress and go on with
Wait,
like
wait,
wow,
wait,
wow,
wait,
wow,
wait,
wow, wow,
Wow.
all the way through, and then
Okay.
you'll get to
They had
I'm
more
excited.
songs than just Tom Sawyer.
yeah. That to me.
Oh, they did.
I liked that song too. That,
Well, see, that's
that
what's
name I
crazy
remember.
is because that's the radio one, and to me, like Tom Sawyer and Stairway to Heaven and Freebird and all
What's
them
the riff
songs,
for
they're
Tom
all
Sawyer?
great songs, but they're wore out.
Can
and
you
I
hum the
think
riff?
all those bands got better songs.
Yeah.
That, I mean, I know they're the great ones and all that, because everybody goes, Freebird, what are you talking about? But you know what?
Oh man, he's
Freebird.
cashing in.
That's a puppy
Nah,
effort.
man.
Right.
I'm just saying, like Hotel California, they're all great songs, but on them bands got way better songs, in my opinion.
Yeah, but I
hear
think some of
exactly
those
what you mean.
songs, like Freebird, they captured a moment. Like when you watch
Absolutely.
Yeah.
California in '76,
People get consumed
Freebird,
by a moment. Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
And yeah,
Absolutely.
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 Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Hotel California.
But yeah, I mean,
That's
like
another spooky
that's Rush's Hotel California, Freebird, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
right.
That's
Right.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
that's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's a great song. Blah blah blah. But man, when you start from the beginning and work your way, it's gonna blow your mind away.
All right, now let me ask
Bigfoot.
you, as the ultimate Rush fan, and
What?
you got a million effing stories about
Yeah,
Rush.
yeah, yeah.
What's your favorite Rush story?
My favorite Rush story is.
I'm going to ask you.
Are you
I'm
talking about
gonna-
Rush Limbaugh? That's what you're talking about?
Let me see how I can do this without troubling people. Okay, so
Obviously not.
at the
I did
time,
not see that coming.
That's why
the
he said-
band I was in.
Wait a minute. You
Wait
were
a
in a
minute.
band?
This
Yeah.
guy.
Okay, so it was the Snakes and Arrows tour, Rush, when they came to Blossom.
The Snakes and what?
Snakes and Arrows. That was
Snakes
the
and
name of
Arrows.
one of their
Blossom's
albums.
had a lot of good shows.
Gotcha.
So, of course, Rush is one of my favorite band. My kids, my drummer, Neil's are all of our favorites and whatnot. So, when I get there, I got one of them there. Where'd it go? Where did it go? My bullet. Give me back my bullet. Must
Give
be up
me
there on the
back my
table.
bullet.
Anyway, I had
Speaking
one of
of
those
scared.
things, and the road guy was like, "Hey, ask somebody who's got something good," pointed in my direction. He's like, "Oh, blah, blah." I was like, "Yeah, go check this out." He come back, "Oh, yeah, let me get X amount." It's like, okay. So I come back. Turns out his wife was the production manager. So in turn for me getting that, I got a couple backstage passes, a couple of the promotional posters that came out of the production offices, and some other goodies and whatnot. So when the show's going on, me and my son and my drummer, we're standing like on stage, like we're like,
Stage
I
left.
don't know, stage right, 15 foot maybe away from the drum. We're basically
As
too
close as
far
you can be.
on stage. Let's just say that we're like right at the edge, but kind of too far. And the one
On the
dude kept
periphery.
going back and forth, and I had to keep moving them guys out of the way because I know how them road guys are. You don't want to get in their way when the show's
That's
going on
right.
and shit. You know what I mean? Because they
They're
got
working.
shit they got to do, right?
Yeah.
So I kept pushing them guys out when I seen him making them moves. And about the fourth time he came through, he looked at us. He looked down at my pass, looked at their passes. He goes, "You guys can't be on stage. Get the hell out of here." Because we was just sitting there, all of us was like drooling. Because I mean, when that's your hero or
That's
whatever,
right. Oh, yeah.
and you're right there,
That's
man. I
right.
mean, we
You're
was right
gawking.
over his shoulders. I mean, it was cool as shit.
That is
dude.
awesome.
I've only been told to get off stage twice. That was that one, and at the Rock Hall. Get off! You're in set, or what the hell did I say? He said,
shot or
"You're in the
something?
shot.
Yeah.
You're in the shot."
I know.
Yep. Oops. That was hilarious. But yeah, that was a great Rush moment. And then I believe now. See, I don't know
Great
which
moments
if
in
it was
Rush
that
history.
show or
This
whatever.
hour
But
brought to you by Rush Chat.
after he had a couple things happen to him, he just started riding his motorcycle to all
Right.
the shows and all this
That's
shit.
rad.
Right. So he don't ride. Him and his brother-in-law would ride everywhere. And as I was leaving after we set up the show at Blossom, I don't remember if it was that particular one, but one of them, I'm walking out and them guys come riding in. And I was kind of mad because I was like, damn, I was kind of waiting because I knew he was coming in on his bike. I was going to approach him, so to say, ever so gently. There's a way you can approach them guys without approaching them. You get in their way how I'll give you guys the little secret to it. Nobody else is
Listen
going to
up.
tell you this.
Listen up, kids.
If you want to approach these people without acting a fool, this is what you do. You get in between where they're at and where they're going, and don't act stupid. You say hi. Simply just say, "How you doing? How is your day?" Don't freak out and start asking them for autographs and all this shit.
Asking them
if
for
you
shit.
do your homework and know what else they like other than what they're doing for their job, you might even get a conversation with
Yeah.
them.
Exactamundo.
See how that works? You can't just come up and jam up on them and fanboy them, man. They get tired of that. Just walk up and say, "What's up? How's the weather?" Hey,
Remember
man.
Fan Man?
You
Everybody
fish, you
remember
hunt.
Fan Man?
Because I'll tell you, one dude that I talked to that wouldn't say shit to me until I said something about hot rods was Jeff Beck. That dude ain't got nothing to say to nobody on stage, but the second I said something about a hot rod,
Boom.
oh, that dude was in the
Oh, yeah.
conversation. Bam,
yeah.
just like that.
Wow.
Cool.
Well, you never know what people are into.
Cars are pretty
So
universal.
that's how you
with
do
a
it,
lot of
kids.
people, too, so that
That's
Big
how
time.
you do it.
Thanks.
That concludes my public service announcement.
Hey, and we want to.
Well,
Brushes with
Now,
the
where
stars.
was we?
so
Well, we're
for
gonna talk some.
Cryptids,
Yes.
right?
Oh, we was talking
So-
Rush, but yeah, back
With a
to-
Rush
I-
soundtrack.
because I heard
Yeah.
I heard that you were a Sasquatch fan.
You're right.
And I had two things sitting at my house that I wasn't using. I figured you would want them because
Oh, here we go.
So
We
let me
love
get 'em.
gifts around here.
I did.
And I
First
got
of
something
all,
for you.
We
too.
love
sub-
when people
that's
bring us
my
gifts.
own subject matter. So,
All right, we're
but
going to get
this-
into the book.
This is called a map in black and a mysterious map of North America, and it has the pin drops of like every cryptid sighting in America.
Nice.
And most of them are Bigfoot. Most of
That's
them are
great.
Bigfoot.
That is
So
awesome,
I took-
brother.
Thank
Check
you.
that out,
I
guys.
I took a picture of where who makes it so that I could buy it again because I do want one. I just think this was a faster way to get it to you. So it is from Craig Cartography, and I bought it at Odd Mall. He goes to Odd Mall. So
We'll open her up
I
and
had a
take
Craig
pictures of it
8-track
later.
player in a car.
That's
one
badass.
time.
And then the
I'm
second
a-
thing,
I got
the second thing, because I wasn't wearing it.
Here you go, Tommy.
Do you want this?
Hell yeah.
wow.
So this is
kidding me?
from Canton's very own Arrowhead,
Yeah,
the
this is
store.
big.
Uh,
We're
the,
gonna wait on this.
the store over there. He printed these, so I
Nice.
barely
Badass,
wear it.
man.
I wear my Mothman ones
There you
so
go.
much. So
Hell
there you
yeah.
go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Look at him.
Tom's a hat guy.
Yeah, check
get
it
it
out.
on.
Check it out.
Oh man,
Well,
See
since
how it fits.
Yeah.
trucker cap.
Yo,
That new
that.
car
And you could
smells
always
good.
adjust
man.
it too. Yeah. That
Look
works
at
pretty
that.
good.
Well, you got your literature out here,
Yes.
and
Yeah.
we kind of had an idea where we wanted to get into some of this stuff. So let's just let you start getting into what got you into the cryptid stuff, man.
Oh my goodness. When I was a
Did you see
kid,
some shit?
I wish. Only in my psychiatric
Man,
evaluations.
What really got me into it, don't mean to interrupt real quick.
No, go
was-
ahead.
It was the book at the library, man, that had all that weird shit in it.
Oh yes,
And
of
it, you know,
course.
they had the one with Patty and all that, and I was like, oh.
Yeah.
C. Clark.
So that's where I got into it.
I could
Search
Carl
of.
I could
Sagan.
trace back.
Remember that Leonard Nimoy in Search of?
Oh, yeah.
That's right. I love that show.
I could trace
It's the
back
first time I
that
saw the
my
Bigfoot footage.
like my interest as a child was like it was dinosaurs. Like most young boys, it's like dinosaurs. Those
Right.
are pretty neat.
That's right.
And then it was mythology out of nowhere because there was a video game that I played called Age of Mythology that was like my favorite thing. And they show so many mythological creatures in it.
Right.
And what is mythology? But like
Centaurs
that
and all
time's
that cool
cryptozoology.
stuff.
Like
The Minotaur.
people couldn't explain a lot of things.
Good choice.
Wait, one mention of one of my favorite mentions of a centaur was that apparently, well, who knows anymore? But like a lot of people say that when the Native Americans saw the colonizers ride horses, they were like, "That's one creature, right? We've never seen someone ride another thing." And it was because of that they started hunting buffalo horseback, whereas before they tried to direct them towards cliffs, which
Run
I'm
'em
like,
off
that
the
is
cliff,
so
yep.
frightening. But the
You know, that's how you find arrowheads, right?
at the bottom of cliffs. Really?
Yeah, well, they
Glad
run
I
'em
made that
off.
guess.
They,
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then they go down there and skin them all out and whatever.
Wow, that's great. I've never even thought about that. The arrowheads would be left over at the bottom of the cliffside
Mm-hmm.
after it. That's huge.
And all around where their campsites
You're
are.
really
Oh,
good
yeah,
at
big
that
time.
stuff. We talked about that one day. My uncle used to do a lot of arrowhead hunting.
I got a collection.
You have, yeah, right. You got some tricks of the trade, man.
But I'm trying to obviously set like the I think it's the Peterson Gimlin footage of the Sasquatch walk.
Patterson Gimlin.
Patterson, that's
Patterson,
it.
yes.
I knew it was something with
That's
that,
what he
but
meant by Patty.
yeah, with the icon on the hat, that's like so memorable. It's like there's got to be something. I mean, good quote.
Well, that's that. He
Yeah.
Thinker Thunker actually does that one with that DNA proportional deal.
Oh yeah. So, first of all, this book, Adam Benedict, he didn't write the stories. These are ones that he found in the back of libraries in small towns from the 1800s to 19, and it's
Nice.
like all the forgotten newspaper articles of these sightings of monsters, and there's so many.
Oh,
there's so
yeah.
many. I was trying to look up if there was a volume 2, but instead I've noted in here and noticed that he has one for ghosts and also oddities. So he's
The
got
oddities
2
one's
other books of
probably wild.
these. That one's probably
Nice.
wild.
Because if he's got that one and Ghost, what the hell is
What is
oddities?
oddities?
You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly my
damn.
thought when I found out. So, I don't know. I don't know.
What are you doing over there?
Flirting.
I was gonna say.
Shut up. Keep
I
talking.
don't know how much. I don't know how much the name
We're gonna have to
Werner.
put sensor bars on the damn.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how much the name Werner Herzog gets around. I believe he's a director. I think he was in like one of the Mandalorian episodes, and that was my extent. But then I found more stuff about him. But he has a quote. Adam Benedict put a quote of his in here that says, what would an ocean be without a monster lurking in the dark? It would be like sleep without dreams."
Right.
And it's one of my favorite quotes about cryptozoology.
That's
it's
awesome.
like, so that's what it is in the front. But the one story I pinned in here was the article was called "Scared by a Phantom Goat," and I'll show you guys.
Oh my god.
And this was like 3 or 4 sightings of this place in Montana.
Phantom goat.
The
Huh?
Phantom goat.
And this thing.
I saw that episode of
Tommy.
Scooby Doo.
Yeah, exactly. I'm like, this is some old.
And I would have got away with it if it wasn't for you damn kids.
This is some guy that's like running a goat farm that's trying to keep the local corporation
Right.
from putting a parking lot where he
Right.
lives. Like that's exactly what the story is. But if that would be the case if this wasn't 1896. Like,
the plot
so
thickens.
the thing is that like and it's more than just one sighting. Like there's 3 different cases of this.
so, like,
Mass hysteria.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say they was all doing the same mushrooms.
Separate
huh?
moments.
In the end,
yeah.
it was just getting everybody's goat.
I'm pretty sure they described it as like being so much taller than a standard goat, white as the moon at night,
shit.
sort of like
Standard
so
goat.
funny.
Let me get out my goat standard.
But wait, what's also funny about this book is that he has like a section at the beginning talking about what it is, but then he also has a section saying, "Hey, there might be some language that's choice anymore because these articles are from 1800." I'm like, one was like someone referring to a Cherokee and Indian in a wrong way.
Right,
I'm
right,
like,
right.
and the reason why he's like, I put this at the beginning to tell you that that kind of coarse language is in it. I don't want to edit any of these articles because that would make it null and void.
Right.
That's right.
So
People have to accept that the vernacular
That's what it-
changes about
they
every
said what they
2
said.
I
decades.
mean, it's the
Yeah.
past, man.
It's
I'm a
the
person
past.
that's not offended by.
We done
letters.
told you it's for entertainment purposes only. Calm
Exactly.
down.
Exactly. So
You know what the rules
that's
are
a big
around here.
that's a big point on that.
So
It's
did
all
you-
shit
I love
about
this book.
shit.
I'm still getting my
You
ways
hear
through
me?
it.
Shit.
Oh yeah.
Go ahead.
No, you're good.
I'm just talking.
Hey,
What's that
Hey,
creature
Nick,
on the
hey,
front,
Nick.
by the way? That's the
Talking shit over
I
here.
mean,
Camila iguana.
that could be
Camila iguana.
that could be Jersey Devil for all we know. Have you seen the
the
pictures for the
Jersey
Jersey
Devil.
Devil?
That's right.
So goofy.
My-
Jersey Devil is one of the goofiest looking
My
ones. I've
baby
seen.
mama was the Jersey Devil. What you talking about, son?
Right.
Well, the Jersey Devil is like the
Believe that.
13th child of
I
someone,
know.
right? Like that's what the story is. It's so crazy. It's like gotta have another baby, and then suddenly,
Now, how
it's
do you
like you
sit-
should have stopped at 12 or
How do
something.
you sit on the subject of UFOs? Are they coming from out there, or are they coming from here? Are they already here?
I've heard cases, and this being from the Kryptonaut podcast that I recommend to everybody listening and to the table
Just
here.
kidding, baby mama. She'll beat me up, man.
People think that it's also a
And
means.
Jersey going, hey, yo, hey.
What
pe-
you talking about?
people
Hey,
say-
hey Nick, I heard you was saying shit about
the
me.
people on that show think it's another way for people to plane hop instead of just being planets. So like
You
for
know
some
I'm
reason
gonna
going in the
offend
atmosphere, you would jump from one timeline to a different timeline, like parallel plane sort of jumping. And there's been many cases that it's been time travel from future humans that are like, hey, we messed up. Can you do this instead? Like, there's many different cases for the aliens
You know-
sightings, and I've always been one to be like, I don't want it to be future humans because that's just like
That's crazy.
That beats the soul.
Say
yeah,
banana oil.
yeah.
Upchurch just posted, bing, again, there you go, bro. He
don't
just
know.
posted another one this morning, one of them little short video things talking about the timeline. That's awful
yeah.
crazy. And
You know,
he was like, what if,
You
what
can-
if? And then
Yeah.
You can switch your
It's pretty
timeline.
interesting, his point of view on some things.
You
That's all I
can
can
switch
say.
your timeline at any time.
Yeah, and I've
Whenever
been
you
watching a lot of
decide
videos on
to
that.
just
I
Well,
mean,
do
basically
something.
you
what
guys
he
don't
was
do that.
saying-
I do that.
Nice. You're way ahead of us.
You already know that.
It deviates from the norm.
Yeah,
and
faith
your
in it.
Normal stuff. Then
No,
you know, by the laws of attraction and by
Yeah.
just the way that it goes, you will be on another timeline. And you'll see that you don't bump into the same people anymore. You're going
Yeah.
to different places, so you're seeing different people all the time now. And then you'll end up pulling into your
Who would fit it?
right.
Yeah.
They just find you in a way almost. Same
Yeah.
way like what we're doing today.
You're
I
never
didn't know
allowed to
you
take that
a
hat
week
off, by
ago.
the way. That hat
I
is
know.
I'm so
It's
happy that it's
perfect.
that it's
It
working
is
for you.
perfect.
I just
Perfection.
had a semi truck.
There we go. We could all live our dreams still.
I love it.
But
You need a cool flannel. this fall for that, so.
Satch Daddy on the line over the side, bringing in that big old 18-wheel with that big old weed.
and that
Come back.
I'm digging that.
that creature in particular is named like 1,000 things across the world. Like if you
Oh, yeah,
if you
for
compare
sure.
if you say he's also the Yeti in like Nepal, it's like they're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like it's
Well,
planetary.
And what about
Eddie from Iron Maiden.
Yeah.
There you go.
Mm-hmm.
There's Eddie.
up where those Tibetan monks are? Up
And they're
in the
walking that
mountains up
high.
there, there's stuff up there too.
Yeah.
The abominable snowman. whatever.
I remember that Discovery Channel tried to do something with Jeff Corwin about the Yeti. Like they had a couple episodes in a row where it was that was what he talked about.
You ever see some UFO shit?
I've not, unfortunately.
Hey,
I've always wanted to see it.
Before you get off the
we get done here, we can go
stuff.
outside and you'll see some shit.
that's
if it's
true.
really?
Dude,
Over here?
Yeah.
You see some pretty
I'm
wild
not
stuff.
lying.
in my
Really?
backyard.
Dude, I'm telling you,
We've
there's
seen
shit
some
happens in
interesting
the
things.
sky almost every damn night. If you just stop and look and just
Look
start
up.
staring, shit starts happening. It's crazy around here.
Oh my goodness.
If
Very
you-
active.
I'm not lying.
And I
All you
don't
got to
know.
do is we walk out to the mushroom patch out there, and then
So
No, really though.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously, there's
so,
me and Ed's seen some crazy shit, and not on no
yeah.
mushrooms or any of that shit.
now,
Chet,
my
Just
question.
out here bullshitting, going, what?
Oh, yeah.
the
what is that?
My question.
dude, are you seeing that?
45
yeah, dude, are you?
minutes.
Really?
45 minutes. We
Yeah,
watched
the
that.
one thing
Wow.
was, it was crazy. These little light orbs kept popping out from the north, heading south, and then
Every 45
yeah,
seconds.
because I was
they
like, dude, that
disappear.
seems like they're on the same time, and I pulled out my phone and literally.
I would imagine you guys have
timed them.
less light pollution over
It was
here.
40.
Then
yeah.
my rational mind is trying to it's the Leonids or it's one of these
It was
things that we
wild,
just
man.
don't know.
Yeah.
And Tom's
And they
like,
go
no.
all the way across, and they get about right in line with my house, and just disappear
So-
right.
My question for you guys, and was alluded to in the little trailer, are you guys for Chupacabra being an alien, or is it a terrestrial creature?
I think it's a terrestrial creature. I do. I think it's something.
Yeah, me too. I don't think it's.
So forever ago, I thought they actually found it, and it was this kind of hairless canine thing. Have you seen the footage for this thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought that was it, and
yeah, what
it's
are
like
they,
so many people are saying,
they're mangy.
oh yeah,
Right.
it sort of is like a thinner version of the whatever the Mexican hairless dog is called, that breed.
Yeah.
Like that's what it looks like to me. So I was gonna see if I still had my Chrome app. If I still have my Chrome app open, because I opened a couple images of different
It's a goat
cryptids
sucker.
before.
I don't know.
Yeah, so this was the one taxidermy that they thought was the creature that was the chupacabra.
Yeah.
Oh,
Right there,
yes, of course.
On camera. A chupacabra.
Sort of canine sort of guy. So
It's the goat
yeah,
sucker.
but you always want the myth to continue living, like sort of thing.
It's
one
a
of my
mystery.
one of
That's
my
what
favorite
Mike Tyson said. He said it was a real mystery.
one of my favorite cryptid stories
Mystery.
that wasn't, it was a hoax, was the Hodak. Have you ever heard of the
Stop
Hodak?
messing around.
Why did I know of
Yeah.
that? What is that?
The Hodak?
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Uh,
yeah.
If you look it up, you'll see pictures. But the reason why I love this story about this cryptid, especially since someone definitely came out and said it was a creature they made up and made photos of and stuff,
Right.
is that that wasn't the point that I love that story. It's the fact that they have a statue in front of their like, I almost said headquarters, like their city,
Hall.
their
Yeah.
city hall, yeah,
Yeah.
their city hall. Their
At the Hall of Justice.
but the local school uses it as their mascot. I mean, what isn't there a local
The
team?
Hodaks?
Isn't there a local team that goes by the one in Lake Erie, like the Nessie of Lake Erie?
There used to be.
I
a
wrote-
I'm not
team.
sure about that.
I wrote it.
I'm
I
not
wrote
a
it
big
down.
sports
I
Monster.
did see something up there and did get video of it.
Yeah.
Bessie.
I'm not going to say it was Nessie, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say that there was something very.
Big?
The Lake Erie monster.
I was crossing over
We
on
called
that
it Lemmy.
barge.
The one that
there's
I
gotta be some big shit in there. Think
yeah.
about
I
it.
don't
I
know
think
what
there's
I saw.
sturgeon in there.
I don't know what I
Oh
saw.
yeah, sturgeon are already dinosaurs.
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
but the Lake Erie Bessie was what I found online.
Yes.
Is what it was called. And then there's also the Charles Mill monster, which is another lake
Was it because it was
creature.
by Davis Bessie nuclear power
It
plant?
probably.
That's-
I mean,
don't
all of
think-
it is probably mutated.
Me personally, I don't think Loch Ness is a real because them things would have to eat an enormous
I
amount
do.
of food.
I do.
Well, there was
No,
a
there
there-
is.
Unless they
thing in
got
there.
some sort of underwater
you
passages
go.
to
Yeah.
get somewhere else.
We had this talk, right?
there was a.
It's
Because,
coming in
but
and out.
I personally think it's a big ass eel.
Did
No.
They
did-
got eels
yeah.
over there, and that's
think
my
it's-
belief.
Did you hear like there was a competition after there was sightings of the Loch Ness monster that like if you get photos of it you'll get money, and there was apparently like a big game hunter that took like the cut off feet of a rhino and made footprints with it. I'm like, you're probably already
People do
making money
anything.
if you have the feet of a rhino. I mean, what is going on? So, and I'm like, also, did no one think that this creature was just like fins? Like, this guy's making it seem like it's a brontosaurus
Right,
walking
yeah,
on land sort of
exactly.
deal.
But
It's
I
like,
do think it's prehistoric, and I think it's
Yes.
coming in and out.
no, it
It would
When
have
was
to
the- when
be
was-
because
There's
Loch
so many
Ness wouldn't be
people
able to
with-
maintain
Right.
its
There-
ability to.
there's a lot of cryptid sightings that are like someone saw a raptor. I forget where the location of
I've
that. Yeah,
seen-
it might have been
I've
Australia
heard that
was one
shit
of
too.
them. Yeah, like it's like maddening to think. But so
But no footage. Nobody ever
No.
has a
But
good
here's
picture.
the thing that most people don't
Right.
understand about most dinosaurs: they
Batman
were
once.
small.
Yeah.
It wasn't big,
Batman.
gigantic. There
Batman?
was few of them.
and it's
There was
potential
a shit
time I
ton
look
of
in the
small
mirror.
ones.
and it's very potential for it to live up till
So-
now. Look at birds and
Yeah.
crocodiles.
Right, so I could potentially see a raptor being the size slightly bigger than a dog.
Well, they-
You know what?
like a Great
You know, my
Dane
favorite
dog or
is-
something.
my
you know?
favorite-
the
Man,
movies
shut up over there, man.
the movies
T-Rex
apparently
arms.
scaled them up too,
Right.
like just to make them
Exactly.
seem more
Well, sure.
ferocious.
I like the T-Rex.
Scare your ass.
Well,
Alligator arms.
the dreaded T-Rex became, if you believe how science of evolution
Some
worked, was
bullshit.
they became
I don't
chickens.
believe that.
I don't.
I think
I
it's
don't either.
I think it's a funny concept. Actually,
Evolution just stopped. That.
I
Like,
personally think the dinosaurs was around that they called them dragons.
Oh, yeah.
Clear
oh,
up,
big time.
and possibly even
Listen, wait,
after
what
the
was-
flood.
We see the wax and wane of caribou populations and
There it
all
is.
these other things. So why couldn't the same thing happen to dinosaurs where they just went extinct like we've seen other
I,
things
I
go
honestly
extinct?
think that they was here and
While
we
we
used
were
them
here.
like pets, just
Right.
like the Flintstones.
Some of them, maybe we
yeah.
did.
I mean, just like
I saw
pets,
some of that monkey art.
We
before
used
where he
they
took the
we used them to
chisel
plow
and-
the fields
There-
and all that shit,
they-
man.
there-
Transportation, all of it.
There's a
I'm not saying they was riding on pterodactyls or no kind of
Oh,
shit
no.
like that.
Well, there are.
Did you
Maybe.
fall asleep after you did acid, and then the Flintstones were
There's
on in
a-
the background, and it,
I've seen
Made a
pictures of
whole
like
thing.
gorgeous
The tones? You talking
paintings
about the
that in the
colors with the
distance it looks
sounds?
like people are
Yeah.
riding brontosauruses, like
Right.
smaller brontosauruses.
I've seen griffins, which are small
Oh, yeah.
dragons, and,
Yeah.
and there's all kinds of renderings and,
And-
paintings with those
Yeah,
that go
wow.
back.
And a lot of
500 years,
a lot of more
600 years
modern
ago.
fantasy depictions. They're shown as like
I don't know.
lion.
Is
birds.
Greek mythology really mythology? Or
Good
I'm
question.
thinking some of that shit was really going on. And
well,
Like I said,
guess
that
what? They had to flood the shit to get rid of it all.
like I said, that time period that would be their cryptozoology, just their modern myths, their stories. It's like
But some of those
Some
were
amazing
planets.
ones.
Some of those were planets, and they were describing things that were happening above us in
They had that too.
space. And that was how they did it. Like you were talking obelisks earlier, and they're always in an ashram pool. That's the penis going into the vagina.
that's true.
There's a lot of truth in that one. Look
Let-
that one up, buddy. That's a scary one.
There's a lot of weapons that like were directly designed after like the penis. It's kind of
mighty
funny now I think
mortar
about it. Yeah,
missile.
yeah, exactly.
I mean-
It's hacking weapons, even like it's
There's
crazy.
a lot that goes.
so
on.
wait a minute. When we were talking about Sasquatch, Bigfoot,
Yes, of
Yetis,
course.
the two compelling pieces of evidence for me are one, when you look at Native American drawings and other
Yes.
old
Good one.
drawings, there's
Good one.
buffalo, eagle, fish,
There-
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot,
You know what I mean?
other weird
was it-
alien-looking things.
Wasn't there? Wait, isn't it literally
I'm not
called?
going to say what they are. But
I don't know
who
what they are.
knows, But
Right.
Isn't
they're
it
not
literally
human.
called
Let's
Painted
just
Rock,
say
where
they're not
they
human.
think one of the depictions was
something.
it Painted Rock? Wasn't that
Yeah.
literally like the
Uh-huh.
one that Native Americans and it's like it
Yep.
looks like it could depict a Bigfoot?
Sure.
Like big time.
Right, and there's
a
that, so-
I forget where the location of the tribe was, but I remember around the time that I was like big into ancient aliens kind of concept. One of apparently these researchers went and stuck with a local tribe, and the tribe told them, yeah, our gods told us direct like what star we were around, like where they were from, what star they were around, and it's like, yeah, the scientists were like, yeah, there's no way to see that planet with the like, let alone the like the planet by itself, but even the star you can't see with the
Dog
naked
star,
eye. Like and
Sirius.
these people in
This
a
is what
tribe
I
are
keep
noticing.
trying to say to these flat Earth cats. That they
Yeah.
I was like, if that is the case, then how in the hell was these guys carving this shit round on the rocks way before NASA was even invented? Because
And
they
you-
all keep going back
But
to this
you know
And you could get me
NASA
on a
conspiracy
You could get me on a
shit.
trail with Anunnaki and stuff like that also, and it'd just be.
I mean,
endless.
they clearly had a view of up above.
Yeah.
Long before we, you know what I mean. So come on, man. Come on.
I think it's potential for time travel too, with all the older sculptures that have like astronaut suits and such in it.
Yeah, they say they got them there wormholes and whatnot. I was just watching
sort of Planet of the Apes.
What's his name, talking about that CERN shit and how they might have that wormhole shit figured out.
That would be
Do you
amazing.
think they'd ever tell us?
And them
Big
Stargate
perm.
deals.
Yeah.
No, they're not going to tell us.
You know,
Why
you really
would
wanna,
they?
You
Who's
want
they?
to. You want to find
They,
out
they and them.
them. They are very powerful.
The man.
They'll come get you.
Ed's
Yeah.
got some of those friends.
I am the man.
They,
They'll tell
they
you
and
what's
their
what.
them and
They
shit.
will tell you what's what, and you'll love it.
So, and the other one would be
took all his
Meldrum's
shit, though.
footprints.
Yes.
You know, with the diagonal print.
Yeah.
which
And then
from-
also all the weight that goes into making that footprint. Like
Yeah.
crazy.
So that's compelling to me
And that-
because,
Go ahead.
well, you're people from different continents that, you know, it's the only known seems to be a legitimate print
yeah.
And
in areas that, I mean, I'm sure Gonji Gakamala was never talking to
Yeah.
Roger
Right.
Smith.
Is it?
You know,
The most general name.
And the
Next
other
to
thing
John
that's
Doe.
pretty,
Yeah.
that's pretty
Yeah.
amazing about that Patterson Gimling footage after
Yeah.
they've put it back in the computer and enhanced it and all that thing. That now that you can see the muscles moving
yeah.
and it has breasts. Who in the hell?
That's right. The
would-
footage does describe it as a woman, like a
I
feminine.
mean, you're really going to add that to the costume because at the time when they did that, Planet of the Apes was the best of the best of the best that we could offer.
yeah.
Think about that. And then you look
That was
at
not
that.
bad either.
Right. And
But
then you
the
look
makeup
at
wasn't
that.
But that is incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And they hiked that shit clear. They didn't, they'd have to helicopter drop that shit in. You know what I mean? Because they was on horseback for miles to get up into there where that footage was taken. So
And like I
think that
said,
should be real, yo.
like I said, when you look at that map, you'll just realize how many sightings
Oh,
across the
yeah,
entire
I've
United
seen-
States and Canada that the
They
Bigfoot
say,
gets around.
you know how the big deal is Salt Fork down there.
Oh yeah.
They say that you there ain't even no point going down there now because there's so many people down
Looking
there
for 'em.
all the time
Yeah.
looking. It's a done deal.
I want to
but they're
say
not looking at the Dunkin' Donuts.
No.
Nope.
I mean,
I want to
Oh,
say
That's
that
the problem.
Dunkin' Donuts.
I've always wanted to go
I got a
to
great story about that. Ask
the
me.
Mothman.
Ho nuts.
I've always wanted to go to the Mothman Festival that happens in Point Pleasant because their theater they'll have
Silver
people
Bridge.
having a round table about their experiences like going to hunt
Yeah.
for Bigfoot and stuff like
wow,
that.
that'd be an interesting place to go magnet fishing.
I mean, that's the Ohio River right there. You might catch a lot. Yeah, and the collapsed
Magnets,
bridge.
you know,
The-
big magnets. You
At
got
the
those
at the
you
end
can
of
pull up down
at the
there.
end of all the Mothman sightings, the Silver Bridge collapsed, and that's why a lot of people refer to it as like a bringer of doom sort of thing. Was all
Right.
these crazy things were happening.
Harbinger of doom.
For all the crazy things
thought
from
it was
UFOs to
nothing,
Men in Black that talk weird and look
there's
weird.
Larry.
Yeah,
I was
and
just
then
getting ready to say some
Oh,
shit
yeah.
about that. He's got it.
body
Men in
ratio,
Black.
big
Those
time.
Men in
He's
Black.
back
big
to
time.
They know
body
who they are.
ratio.
They
But
know
I
who
was
they
just
are.
getting ready to say him and his son went down there and stayed where them domes, army things where
Oh,
that
yeah.
shit was spot. And he said, dude, and he's not scared. And he had a
doom.
piece on him.
Yeah.
And they didn't stay. They got the
Really?
hell out
Yeah.
of there. He said that
Dr.
shit
Doom.
was spooky as hell.
There's so Mothman for the longest time was my favorite cryptid, and there's one in I have a there's so many I have favorites. There's one there's a pretty funny story of one sighted in
We had a whole conversation about the
What did I
body
go down?
ratio, LD.
Coming in on the
where was the
list at
location?
number 2.
Number 2.
There you are. So one of my recent favorites is called Sam the Sandown Clown, and it was
Sam
the sand down.
Sandown.
Yeah, because the location is called
Give it
Sandown.
one thumbs up.
And it was in the Isle of Wight, so over the United Kingdom islands. Apparently, these kids came across in the woods on their vacation. Great place to vacay, I guess. Across a 6.5 foot tall, what they described as a clown. Because I know that's the frightening thing. Who had 3 fingers on each hand and 3 toes. And they weren't colored human.
That's how they used to measure bags of weed back in the day. 3 fingers.
And so
He was just a local weed dealer.
and here, probably the goof. Well, besides the helmet that looked wooden, and his face shapes were like all right-angled objects, like circle.
trench coat.
Might have been triangle eyes, circle nose.
They had him
like,
stealth.
What
Yeah,
they
he
call
was-
this guy again.
The Sam the
So
Sandown
radar
Clown.
couldn't pick him up
Sam
and
the
shit.
Yeah.
Sandown Clown.
And so-
did you say a wooden helmet?
Yeah, that looked like a clown face to these kids.
Sam.
Yeah,
Ah, I
and
gotcha.
he popped out of nowhere and had apparently like a microphone and a speaker.
Oh shit!
He's like, "Hi, I'm Sam of all colors." I'm like, "Is this a real story?" And so the kids basically described the rest of the day as this guy coming to them and him saying, "Hey, I'm
morphine
Sam
is
of all
kicking
colors."
in.
They went to his house and then
Oh my God.
hung out for a second and then they bamfed. Like nothing happened of it. He just wanted to have friends over, essentially.
Hey, look, I got this candy. It's
Yeah.
attached to
They-
my
he-
zipper.
What year was this? What year?
Oh, I did write it. So
Come
it was
get this quarter out of my pocket.
1973.
73.
1973, the 70s.
I can see that
Was the
happening
time.
in 73.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But I would say my favorite, I would say my absolute favorite.
Reach down in the bottom and get that
killed him.
50-cent piece.
We're losing it.
It's big time. I would say my absolute favorite actually came up around the Mothman sightings, and I don't know if anybody knows this name, but it was a character known as Indrid Cold.
Yes.
And so Indrid Cold was known as the Smiling Man or the Grinning Man. And he was this character that in one rainy night, I forget the guy who they interviewed, but apparently this guy in a semi-truck was driving past Point Pleasant, and apparently this guy was everywhere where the Mothman was sighted. And I love that artwork. So
That's my self-portrait.
oh, that's right. So
It's
it
in your
went off.
basement.
The screen
It
went
went
off.
off.
Wow.
All right.
you're-
And then why are you going to show these guys and not show the camera? That's some
Yeah.
doggity dog shit
So-
there, man.
That's a beauty.
Well, it's just going to go
Well, you
out.
got to give it to Otto and put it
Give
and
it
put.
here.
Oh, make it not go
So
out.
so this
real
character
quick.
this
Easy.
character Indrid Cold apparently.
Self-portrait that you can't see.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah,
it's all
you're right.
clear.
Never mind.
I love it. Headless.
Never mind.
You have to go to his website, www. He doesn't have one.
Not
Uh-oh.
yet, but Otto's going to help me with that, and we're going
Larry
big time
said
in
all
our
the good
world.
shit happened in the 70s.
Oh, that's
down
for
there, I
sure.
guess.
But
70s.
But he was talking about that was the TNT area where he stayed, where them domes are.
That was the-
Oh yes, yes.
down there where
So-
If you didn't live in the 70s, you didn't live
That mu-
in the
I don't know if
best
that's
era
what he meant by
ever.
down there. I don't think he's talking about like
Ever.
I think he's talking about that.
Yeah.
I could be wrong because it's all on a delay.
But this this
Delay, I knew her.
this Indrid Cold character came to this guy on the highway
Deenda
out
said
of
what was up to Ed last night.
oh yeah.
Deenda.
Deenda. Yeah.
But this guy was like
The end of
flying
my-
a ship around this vehicle, and he's like, "Oh, I bet I better get out and say hi to this random semi driver or something." So the guy walks up, biggest smile on his face, doesn't need to move his mouth to say a word. He's
Right.
the driver's hearing the speech in his head.
Telepathically, right?
Yeah,
I heard that.
and this guy has some weird. This guy has some weird notes of language where it's
I
like,
have multiple
"Where you go?"
split personalities.
Yeah.
They do that to me.
But he's like, "Are you going towards a town? Where I come from, we call them gatherings." I'm like, "Where do you come from that calls them gatherings?"
Sir,
and so,
where
yeah.
are you from?
Yeah,
I
but
can tell by your accent.
oh yeah,
Your Jersey accent. You ain't from these parts.
your Jersey accent within my head that you're not. From.
Isn't that where they got some of the stuff for the movie?
Well, likely. Yeah, there's a moment in
I like that chapstick part, man. It still makes the hair on my arm stand up every time I watch it.
Mothman Prophecies.
Mothman, yeah.
Yeah,
What's in my pocket if you're reading my mind right now, and that voice comes through
Oh,
that
yeah.
line, that
Yeah.
chapstick.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, yeah,
So-
it's great.
No, that's
And I-
just
Oh
your.
yeah,
and I
that's
think-
another documentary.
I think
the
they
Flatwoods do.
the Flatwoods Monster is a big
Small
one.
town, and they did that one too.
A big one in
Flatwoods.
Appalachia. Yeah, Appalachia is insane for its cryptid sighting.
That's his
I-
favorite.
I spend time in the Appalachians.
Took me a minute to
Oh,
figure
man.
out.
And
what that
actually, the
Gorgeous.
town of Appalachia.
Oh, really?
Yeehaw.
But
What's up?
the podcast that I listen to,
Amber.
Maniac.
the podcast I listen to,
Amber.
they
This
believe.
poor guy.
Amber.
Go ahead.
You're good. You're good.
I'm sorry, Zach.
No,
They're
I'm
listening anyway.
I absolutely get it. I do this to my friends all the time anyway. But the podcast I listen to, Kryptonaut Podcast, in Appalachia, believe it or not, they believe there's like something in the water something in the water on that Ohio River, like because everything is sited around the
There's
Ohio
some
River.
shit. Oh, I was gonna say there's some big shit in there too, boy.
Oh,
You
yeah.
seen some of the catfish people's pulled out of there?
Oh yeah.
If
The
there's
gooch.
big ass catfish
Big
in there
old
like that,
gooch
there's
in there.
big
Like
ass other shit in there too,
sturgeon.
boy. I'm telling you what.
I want to see like
Hit the bow.
sturgeon versus catfish.
If I don't tell you
know what I mean?
anything, I'll tell you what.
Do
Tell
you
you
know?
what.
Do you know from Loveland the frogmen?
I know nothing
Loveland
about
frogmen?
frogman.
The Loveland frogmen.
No, I'm not into the
Mate.
frogman.
Oh, yeah, I played them in
never
hockey
went
back
down
in
that
the day.
rabbit hole.
1955. They were consistent sightings in this swampy land, if you believe it or not,
Nah,
of these frogmen.
not
Yeah.
Swamp.
The swampy lands. Yeah. But to go through a list, like a short
You
list
fuck
of what
around down in the swampy land, they'll cut your frogman ass up and cook you.
one of their legs.
Down there in the Cajun, boy.
Big time.
That's Gator about that.
But apparently I heard they would carry wands sometimes, so they come strapped. Is the funny thing, Harry Potter style, believe it or not.
Right? Wow.
But
Inspiration.
inspiration. Just to go through, like a shorter end of the list. What's spotted in Appalachia? You have Mothman.
Right.
You got the Flatwoods Monster, as we pointed at.
Right.
We got Sheep Squatch is another version of Sasquatch.
And what
but
about
apparently,
Sheep
what about
no
the-
tell truth.
What about the
Sheep
dog
lie.
face? The dog face guy too. There's the
Oh.
dog face or the dog head or
in Defiance, Ohio, there's Dogman.
yeah, dog man.
Yeah.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
they did
I
that
just
one
I
too.
just I just
Right.
read
There,
about that
look.
one.
One,
Oh,
two,
two,
three. Do not do three. I'll go one.
I
extra
think
'cause
you
I'm
own
on
5,
Being
but
generous?
that's just me.
Man,
Those are all my quarters.
five.
But yeah,
It's not real.
Get out of here.
I guess that was 1972 was the stuff about the Dogmen in Defiance, Ohio. I'm surprised. Well, we also have like what's called a puckwudgie, and that's the funniest name I've ever heard.
Oh, who?
Puckwudgie is like a upright, like sentient man,
With your
like
thumb
tribal
with a
character.
buckeye
Did you
stuck
say
to your
orgy?
Big
butthole.
time. But-
Otto, did you
well,
just say orgy?
Well, that's it.
That's what-
Orgy.
That's it. That's the thing is that they have like hedgehogs quills.
Orgy.
They're like
Say
porcupine
hedgecogs?
backed.
What is it?
Yes, exactly.
Love a good
Hitchcocks. Yeah,
orgy.
best
Hey,
movie.
there's
Best movie.
Ed playing with the mask cock again.
But do you know the Grafton
Where's
monster?
the clam?
No.
That's Appalachia.
The what?
Snallygaster. That's a funny name too.
I love that.
That
name,
one's
Snallygaster.
also Appalachia. The
I think I've been
Wendigo?
called a snallygaster before.
Oh yeah. But
Schnallygaster.
You rotten snallygaster.
now Wendigos from Appalachia. I know a
You
little bit more
swags.
about.
Wendigo.
Polish me, Swallygaster.
So it's believed is the story apparently is with the Wendigo is that it was a curse that would come upon a Native American
We're going
tribe
there.
person. Come upon really?
It's not.
That-
Going there.
What am
That
I
would be
missing over
set.
here?
Is that better?
Hulk 181.
You can't do it.
That's the first Wendigo appearance. That's the first Wolverine in the yellow costume.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, Deadpool.
No, I get you.
Go ahead.
All right.
When did the Wendigo in Native American tribes was like a curse someone would get if they
Right.
committed
Kinda
cannibalism.
like the Skinwalker type shit.
Yes, yeah,
Cannibalism.
but it was cannibalism.
Right.
And there was a recent, not recent, there was a famous series of games that the first one of the series, the big monster. It was a very Scooby-Doo, but also like all those horror films where like people go and bang in separate houses, like all the teenagers go on vacation sort of
Right,
shit. Like,
right.
Jason, Friday the 13th.
these people are going through the whole thing. It's like it's got to be that crazy guy up on the hill that's killing everybody, and actually, that's the dude that's killing trying to kill the Wendigos. Is this crazy guy? And so, like, yeah, don't get killed by this thing.
Now,
Walks
see.
another step, Wendigo goes straight past him. His throat gets cut by one of their fingernails. He hits down. Like the
I had
only
a 75
the only dude that
Wendigo.
knew.
I drove that sucker all over the place. It had the ladder. You could get up on the roof of it. Yeah, it was great.
Oh yeah. But speaking of dragons, apparently,
No, I like dragons. That's
Hey, we
a fun
were
one.
I like
Cumber.
Pete.
Are we
appar-
speaking of dragons?
apparently,
I love dragons.
hey,
I like Pete,
You
the
guys brought it
magic
up with the
dragon.
dinosaurs, but apparently Cumberland.
Yeah, well.
But apparently Cumberland, in Appalachia, there was a dragon, and they wrote it down as also being known as Goosefoot, which is like he's never gonna get a spot on Game of Thrones. Like he's not gonna be
Goosefoot.
hired to be a dragon. Like
Goosefoot.
Goosefoot. Who wants to
Goosefoot.
who
Why
wants to
would you
write a
name a
dragon named
dragon
Goosefoot?
Goosefoot?
Yeah,
Because he had webbed feet.
it's like Sheep
guess.
Stealer. At least is a cool name for a
Man, I
dragon.
don't know what it was.
He was the water dragon.
I just got
Uh-huh.
dang on Goosefoot.
for me,
Goosefoot, the water
Real
dragon.
nice.
for me
Dang
growing up,
Goosefoot.
my earliest memory of like dragons in film was Pete's dragon.
That's what I just said.
You said, oh, he was a water dragon.
Raiders dragon.
No.
Oh,
I was just saying earlier when you
Oh.
said dragon, I said Pete.
Actually,
I saw
yeah,
the
you
magic
did say
dragon.
I was
saw
watching
that.
this
I love
movie,
Pete's
and the guy,
Dragon.
the
Me
star of the
too.
movie.
Me too.
Hey, did you
When
see?
it came out,
That's
hell
the
yeah.
first movie I
How
saw.
about the Rescuers, son?
Yeah, hey, man.
Rescuers.
I've seen that in the theater too.
Crazy, dude.
Boy,
How about
Was it the drive-in
the
theater?
Song of the South?
Did you see it at the drive-in theater?
not them. I did have. I've been to drive-in theaters when I was a
I
kid.
actually
Yeah.
saw the movie
I
you're
saw
talking
the Song of the
Stark
South
and,
there too.
Huh?
The Song of the South.
I don't know. I remember when I was a kid, we went to the drive-in theater, and I seen when I was a child, and it scared the shit out of me. Hills Have Eyes. Even though it's
Oh, that's a
stupid
classic,
now, boy,
right.
but back then, boy, woo.
Did you see the spin-off, The Hills Have Thighs?
Yeah.
I like that
That's a
better.
good one. But that got the hard triple X, and I don't know why, because it just had a
It
couple where,
wasn't.
you know,
Yeah, right.
what are you going to do?
I don't know.
Censors.
I don't even know why they would have gotten that rating.
Hills Have Thighs. Check it out.
trying
Run
to-
it on Netflix.
Oh,
Netflix
so-
X.
Oh, Pete, I was like, how the
How'd you
did
get to
we
Pete's
get
Dragon?
to all that?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
was talking about
well, speaking of that,
Dragonstein.
I watched
There's a lot of
watched
times I have
movie
to
after
retrace
that
my
one
steps
called
on how I got to a conversation.
Peter
Like, I do
Dragon.
that all the time. Like,
Peter
how did we
Dragon.
get
And I
here?
smashed my hand the other day. That's something.
Oh, shoot.
It's all somewhat swelled up there. See
You
that?
got one of those
Wow, now
thumbs,
he's like
Tom. You got
cryptid.
one of those.
Yeah,
Becoming
Oh,
that.
Oh my gosh, he's
The
getting
conspiracy
infected.
theory.
Now we're gonna have we're gonna have to do another side thing where Zach says he gives us a thumbs up,
He said side thing.
a one thumbs up.
Thumbs up.
That'd be
we'll
that'd be a
get him and
three-quarter
Larry
thumb.
together, and there'll be two thumbs up. That's crazy.
I thought because of my thumbs I would never get to do hand modeling, but here we are.
Right? You're modeling them now.
Costanza.
Hey,
Yeah, it's- Big fan of Seinfeld.
Me too. George loves his chicken spicy.
The only episode my mind ever goes back to is when
oh,
he's getting cooked on the roof because he puts butter on himself.
yeah, I was double scared that night. Larry said it was Hills Have Eyes and It's Alive. Remember that with
Oh
the
my
babies?
goodness, yeah.
The babies, it was monster things that was born. Man, I was so scared to walk through the neighborhood at night because of that freaking movie, dude. It's Alive. Shit.
I don't want us to run.
Hey,
out.
Larry, send me a picture of your thumb. I'm
Okay.
gonna show Finn. He can't believe me that he's got the same one, bro.
Too far, but
I'm telling you.
Can you hold these up so the
Surrounded
camera
at the
can
top.
see them? Like I'm
What
gonna.
is it?
I'm gonna hook you up with some more books, like we
Oh,
were
yeah.
talking.
Oh, for the
so
gallery, yeah.
That's a Monet, and hold them up so the camera
Gorgeous.
can see them. There's some pretty cool ones here. For all of our art fans.
There you go. That's a pretty good spot of it. Yep.
Yeah, that keeps the glare off.
Gorgeous photos on the interior.
Yeah, the plates are gorgeous in all these. This is
I
from
know
about
nothing.
4 different art collections.
But let me take this.
This is another really nice one.
I always loved adding to the library at Patina.
Yeah, there's a lot of really interesting ones in here.
Gorgeous.
I have to Photoshop both y'all's thumbs
Rock.
so we could do the two thumbs up.
Oh man, look at that.
Nice. Jeez, yeah.
That's like a telephone book. That's pretty much.
Yeah, you're gonna weigh my car down on the drive back.
Yeah, that's a big one.
These are gorgeous. I should have brought a bit. Oh, sorry, microphone.
And there's a John Singer sword.
Oh my goodness. These are amazing. Thank you so much.
And now
Giving
I
up
love
his
Clea.
library.
Please,
I'm holding
please, one of my
nothing up.
favorites.
Lawberry.
I love this Paul.
Now it's just like being in
Paul Klee.
school again. Earlier it was
Yeah.
like you guys were giving me lessons on flat
Coming
Earth and
down the
things.
bottom.
Now we got books.
I love
This is
Paul
a good
Klee.
There
one.
better
no,
not be a
here.
test at the
Hold
end of
this
this.
one. Mary
'cause
Mary
Cassatt.
Cassatt.
That's a good one.
Oh my goodness.
This isn't
For all
really
you
an art book,
archies.
but this is Norman Rockwell,
Oh, I love it.
and it's a counting book,
Yeah.
and it's not all written in, and it's pretty good. That's a really that really caught my eye.
It's gorgeous. Wow. You have more?
Yeah, and this is the last one's the Homer.
You're not
So
gonna, you're not gonna be able to see me.
I
behind
predict
this.
a new cryptid
Oh,
called
yeah.
the Mold Man.
The mold man.
That probably exists.
The mold
Let's get
mobile.
let's be
he's
real.
Right. He's right. He's not lying,
mold
man.
man.
He's not lying.
The
and
mold
it was very.
The mold man falleth.
Gorgeous. Thank you so much.
Man, I'm not riding
Yeah,
over
right
a bridge
on,
with
man.
him anytime soon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take the leaf blower and like blow it all out. Blow out the mold.
Mold Man.
Yeah.
Tom, it's happening again.
It's happening again.
want to thank our guest for coming. You want to hit him with
some questions.
Oh, yeah. If a train left Chicago, it's 7 o'clock.
This was always my worst part in school. I was okay with math, not the big questions, especially time. What is time though? It's college
I do want to thank you for putting up with some of the stupid shit.
He was on one tonight, boy.
I'll tell you what.
And medicine's kicking in, boy. I'll tell you what, here we go.
Wow.
It's not really so much that as the sleep deprivation.
Oh, that's sleep deprivation.
Everybody starts to talk. No. Sunday.
Not that we'd ever tell you to like, share, and subscribe. We wouldn't do that
No,
thing, but Otto would.
I would.
He'll
say,
tell you.
In fact, I say borrow your friend's phone, your grandma's phone, anybody's
Put
phone.
that
Say,
shit
let me
on
see
there,
your
that
phone.
media
And just
farm.
do them a favor. You just say, hey, let me do you a favor.
I also
Like and
want to
subscribe.
take this quick moment to thank you three. This is the first time I've done a podcast, and I very much enjoyed it. Thank you so much for having
It was
me.
fun.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah, man.
Absolutely.
It's been so much fun.
It was really cool talking about art and shit.
Thank you.
About
And
shit.
whatnot.
That's right. And we
I-
got all the cryptid
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that he had some
Crippy's a
depth?
crapple.
Huh?
Were you surprised that he had some cryptid stuff tonight? Because I
Oh,
was
no,
trying to
you said he
surprise
was
you.
going to, but,
Yeah,
but that's good stuff, man.
man, I'd
I'm just-
recommend those books too.
Yep. Go check out the Rush. Go check out the.
Oh, yes.
If you got, if you go on Tubi,
Patino.
Tubi.
they got a lot of, and YouTube
Patino.
does too for the small
And
monster
YouPorn.
stuff. But if you
Don't
go
forget
on,
YouPorn.
if you go,
YouPorn.
what's really weird, if you go on
YouPorn.
Tubi and punch in small town monsters, it doesn't come up.
Oh, yeah.
But if you type in Seth Breedlove, which is
YouPorn has
the
those
guy that
aliens
puts them
that have,
out,
like,
all of it comes up.
Oh, amazing.
He's got
Okay.
like 10 or 11 or on Tubi, but they got shit
Or not
tons
to
of them.
be. That
And they
is
got
the
all
question.
kinds of series on YouTube and all that type
The-
of
the-
jive.
The one thing I wanted to bring, but I realized I didn't have any at home. I don't have any of my prints from the studio at home. He does have my phone. I love that.
Wait, you had some prints like 1999,
So,
little
hey,
Corvette.
2000
there's-
I told you.
There's an
said
art.
he had some
There's an art.
prints,
There's
so-
an art piece I made forever ago that I have prints
told you.
of the Mothman, and I would love to get.
Period.
Oh gods.
Anywhere,
Oh, wait, I do.
anytime, the exception of Jesus.
Because we're all going to meet him one day, is the disclaimer.
That's already passed away.
Yeah.
Who would it be?
I mean, so my. I feel like that big a question is like, I would want to give you like an essay answer to, but my immediate one, my biggest idol growing up in the arts world was Charlie Chaplin.
Nice.
Silent film
pretty
era.
wild.
So
That's a
That's an
different one.
interesting fellow.
so
right
much
there.
a guy, yeah. And he was like, he did everything. After I watched the Chaplin movie with Robert Downey
Robert
Jr.,
Downey Jr.
another big.
Great
I'm also
movie.
a fan of him.
Me too.
Big time. The only reason why I got into Marvel.
Weird.
Like absolute,
Dr.
like
Doom?
only, yeah, and he's
Dr.
brought
Doom?
back. I'm like,
Dr. Doom,
That's an
come
interesting
on.
take. They're really going off the
Oh,
rails
it's
with that.
gonna be awesome.
But I'm
excited.
But I'm absolutely a big fan of watch it of that movie because his mother was played by. I forget her first name, but it was a Chaplin. Like she was the daughter of
Right,
Charlie.
right.
In the Chaplin movie, she played the mother. So
Charlie
She was
Chaplin.
She
but
was
watching
Child Chaplin.
Mark it up.
but watching all of that, watching that whole movie, I'm like, he went through a couple relationships, like got married a bunch of times, but there's a lot of people who doesn't. There's a lot of people who
I'm a
do
romantic,
anymore.
too.
Like it happens a lot.
I'm a romantic.
But Charlie was like
Craig Reed.
That's right. He's a romantic too.
Right.
It was when I watched his movies that I started actually like. I'm a big movie buff, so
Me
like
too.
I watched so many movies. after
Okay,
all
that's
that.
good. What's on your top 10 list?
Oh wow!
Come on, quick.
So my number one movie of to me
Yes.
is called The Fall, and it has Lee Pace a little bit younger.
Okay.
Movie that is like this big. There's a moment where he's telling a story to this little girl, and it cuts away to show like Alexander the Great in the middle of the desert, and then suddenly she's like, "That's the story he's telling." By the way,
Wow.
and she's like, "Wait, no." So it was the
What's your
Woods.
number 2 movie?
Oh my goodness!
Come on, number two.
I have to put Star Wars up there. It was like one of the first things
Star
I've ever
Wars
seen.
geek. Number
Yes.
3. Number 3. Number 3.
Oh my goodness, I don't even know.
You know what?
You're killing me
This
here.
thing did this weird thing, and it said no data, and I thought we went off, and it did a jump, but look, it's on excellent now.
Oh,
Go
we're
ahead.
connected. We started talking about movies.
I,
All
thi-
right.
I think the no data was my brain for the pressure.
Weird.
Oh my goodness.
What about- what's-
something Akira Kurosawa. What's a good one?
There it is.
What's a good one?
Super Troopers.
I love Yojimbo from Akira Kurosawa. And then the same week, I watched Fistful of Dollars, which is a direct
that's a
ripoff.
great one.
It's good, but it's a
Yeah,
direct
right.
ripoff of that samurai movie. And
Outlaw Josie Wales is the best Western of all
Oh,
time.
yes, absolutely.
How
And
is
then-
it on Stains?
Absolutely. That's my favorite, man.
So
That's a badass movie.
I think at this moment, my
Me
brain's
and
just
Ed's
thinking
going to
of,
Hollywood,
in
and we're gonna
order, what
redo
movies
that
I can
bitch.
remember I love. Maltese Falcon would be...
It's a good one.
Maltese
we'll get our
Falcon would be
teeth fixed
another.
and
a good
redo
one.
Outlaw.
That's another good one.
Josie Wales.
along with Casablanca and
There you
anything
go.
Humphrey Bogart. Like that
Okay.
that time period of film
Yeah,
noir was that
Portland.
huge thing for me.
That's awesome.
Those were cool.
Some other good ones. I
True
mean,
Romance with Christian Slater.
Is-
Oh, yeah.
It had like 2 good scenes in it.
aiming
had a few good scenes.
aiming much more recently.
Dennis Hopper scene. Yeah.
And when he puked on the roller coaster.
aiming much more recently,
have some
and
guts.
I don't think I've ever heard a bad review about it. But that movie, Everything Everywhere All at Once, absolute insanity, and it was a marvelous film in my opinion. I highly recommend Everything Everywhere All at Once. It was like it was a much better take on what like multiversal happening stuff would be than any of the Marvel movies that were doing it. Like this is the this is what's happening. And she's like bouncing in and out of other like parallel timelines.
Nice.
So and for how a lot of people have been talking about that stuff more recently,
Yep.
it's crazy.
I have to bring you guys.
Must have
along
been brought it up.
sometime when I'm jumping.
That's right.
I don't even know what number of movie I'm on, but
Right.
You know the person. You know the person that you were talking about that was behind me. It was me.
twist.
Now, I always ask a question reflecting back.
Yes.
And you're too young to do that with right now.
Uh-oh.
So I want to reflect forward. So what's next? What are we going to see?
From me,
Yep.
producing my art. But I feel like that's an
Think
easy
about it,
answer.
young man.
I
Think
feel like
about
that's
it.
an easy answer. One big idea I've had for a minute now that I feel like would be way down the line, but I am 32, so maybe I should be like putting big questions behind it. And I've been telling a lot of people about this idea. I feel like there should be a gallery that has a coffee shop attached to it, and the gallery stays open for the coffee shop hours.
That's cool.
Because I had my best sale ever.
Careful, people will steal that idea, young man.
True.
They'll run
You
with
just
it.
gave
But I
it
feel-
out.
Pull
but
it
I
right
feel-
out from under you.
I feel like that's the case for anything. I told a friend already, so they're probably gonna.
Speaking
Take
it
it.
into
Yep,
existence,
your
young man.
phone already heard you.
My phone already heard it
The
every time
internet
I've
just
talked about
heard
it.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
every time I
You
talked
don't
about
even
it.
have to speak.
But one of the best sales I had was for my art was I made 250 in an event because
250K?
250 cash, yeah, because we were set up.
Road hard cash.
A group of us were set up using the. You guys ever been to Tremont Coffee in Massillon? Yeah.
There you go.
The extra room there that was sort of going to be for
shit.
ice cream.
We don't know if we want to go there. No.
And so
Extra room.
what
Little
happened?
Extra room for money.
You know, we had people who came in for the event, but we had so much extra because people were there for coffee and were like, let's go and check out what these people's artwork is. I'm like, why isn't this a adorable idea? It's like people are naturally there. They're probably the market that wants to look at artwork.
They're sitting there bored, drinking their coffee.
Big time. So they go through. Big time. I agree. So people went through our section.
I love you, Tommy.
I had a bunch of stuff for sale that was prints that were like $15, $30. And those all went so quickly because people are like, that's
They
a
love
cheaper.
prints.
People
That's
love
right.
prints.
They
People
do.
love prints.
Yeah.
It's hard for people to like be like, I want to buy that thing that's worth
Hundreds
a
of
vehicle
dollars.
of mine. Yeah,
That's
like
right.
I could trade a vehicle for it.
And do you ask that kind of money for some of your work? Are you? I mean, are you? Because I know I did.
I have friends, and I love my friends who are deep in art, but I have so many friends that are like, you need to charge higher for your artwork, man. I'm like, I know, but it's less.
And it's always your broke friends that tell you that too.
Yeah.
Because,
Unfortunate. No, so I tell everybody, like, my work where I work for graphic design and printing, that pays for the living. That's for my bills. The studio, the artwork that I produce, that pays for the soul. Like that is what keeps me mentally going through life, is like I always have my artwork.
Yeah, you're out.
And
right.
and my family, and of course friends.
Does it hurt to get
everything
rid
like
of it? Does it hurt to give your work to people?
Oh no! Actually, one of the things that I wasn't sure I would ever do was sell art that had Ingram on it, because
it hurts me. That's why.
it really,
Yeah, right.
really. I guess at this point it's all sized that I've scanned it all at work, so it's like I remember what it looks like because I have a memory of it. But like it not that big art is a problem. You could take a photo of it also,
Right.
But I understand like the actual physical object that you spend days, if not even years, producing, months at the very least. You put your soul into that, and it's like it's part of you at that point.
It's just like when I sell a lot of children.
You definitely put your soul in
Oh,
that.
Jesus.
All right, but so
What the hell was that?
wait,
Well, I mean,
He's just
Wait.
kidding. Calm down.
one
wait,
God.
isn't this all just?
of the other
Was that backwards?
one of the other things that a lot of my friends, that a lot of people tell me about my art is that I'm very quick. A lot of my pieces I produce in under 6 hours.
Right. That's nice.
It's very nice to have when you want to produce a lot, and
Turn over.
so much of it is from college too. Like a lot of the crayon drawings. So like I've got years of work of which I spent like almost every other day drawing, and so I have a ton of drawings.
you
I have
go.
sketchbooks upon sketchbooks.
So
Good to have.
the
that.
thing about it is
To win drawings.
somebody out there is going to pay some ridiculous price for what you're doing.
Right.
But you gotta sell it right, because here's an example. When I used to do work for this one real estate company, they had this landscaper guy,
Yeah.
and his name was David, and I
Da
can't
Vinci.
remember his last name.
What a
Let's
last
just say
name.
David Smith, right?
Let's go with the Smith.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you know what
Poor
you
Smitty.
know what he named his landscape business? Hans Bach Landscaping. Do you know how many rich people called that dude just because his name was Hans Bach?
Yeah, it sounds wealthy.
This dude made a badass business out of it over that. Hey man, what you talking about over here? Coming from the guy in a 3-hour show talking about, oh yeah,
Yeah.
we can go more.
But
All right, we're out of here.
Time to
Show's
wrap it
over.
up.
Show is
It was a
done.
damn good show.
again,
Good
Good night,
loved
Moon
it.
Goddess. Thank you for coming in tonight.
Thank you so much.
Zach.
Finn.
So happy to have met you when I did. It's
Me-
like
yeah.
blessed to have met you
You know
guys
what?
fully
It was
more
a
so.
Good
It's
time
like-
tonight.
I would have liked to talk to you guys for a second at
Otto.
the event.
Doesn't
but I
it
know
go
that was
fast?
For coming in tonight.
It goes so fast.
Everybody always
That's
like, what
always
are we going to
great.
talk about? You start talking shit and it's over.
Shit about shit.
I used half of my quick notes
Jesus.
that I wrote down. I'm like,
We're
I'm
clear.
gonna run out of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
But no,
And we're 20 minutes over.
I kind of want to go through everything
Roll.
else that I had, but I don't need to because
Well,
I feel
Oh,
accomplished
10
in
minutes,
this.
'cause
Yeah.
we gotta give Al's little thing.
Nicely done. We can
Yeah.
do
All right,
our
another great show, guys.
outro. Thanks for tuning in,
See all you
everybody.
guys
This is Harry Potter
tomorrow.
signing
See
out.
you later.
Well, boy.
Might see
Good.
Nice to
Gary
meet
in
you, Harry
person.
Nice to
Potter.
meet you. Thank you.
Look,
Good night.
Thanks
Moon
everybody
Goddess.
for hanging in the chat. Thanks
my
everybody
weird
out there
sound.
on the
Be
ant
tight,
farm.
dear.
We shall see you on the next
I'll be
wow.
dreaming
Not
of
how do
This
you
camera?
stop
Is
all
that
this